Good morning, everybody. Corey, Mano, Giggles, and Jim's here. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good, I hope. Wow, Corey, that's something else. That kind of temperature, 112 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. Not good. Not good at all. Just a minute, I'm going to try and get Boone in. Right back. Boone, come on, Boone. 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 Boone.
recess. Stay on these roads to keep them safe and secure. It's 3 days next door. Dave's got different Jackie. Got on the
Like actually, they were. I won't be doing that anytime soon. Okay, but I'm here now. Morning to you, Bill. Good morning to all of you. Jackie.
Here.
You can call it the Trump travel ban 2.0. It's time for the inciting sixth terror attack in Colorado as a key big factor, pointing to it as proof of the threat posed by unvetted foreign nationals.
The recent terror attack in Boulder, Colorado underscored the extreme dangers posed to our country by the entry of foreign nationals who are not properly vetted, as well as those who come here as temporary visitors and overstay their visas. We not allow people to enter our country who wish to do us harm, and nothing will stop us from keeping.
Oh my.
Live Washington. More on this. Good morning, Greg.
Hey, Jackie, good morning. The travel ban is indeed back, set to take effect on Monday. Yet President Trump says it was the attack in Booker. There was a driving force behind the
Yep, Boone was outside. He's all wet. Yeah, Jim.
before carrying that attack out. Now, dig a little bit deeper into that.
Yeah, it's a little bit, besides it being raining all day today and Boone wants to go out. Get up and lay down. Brenda, how you doing, Brenda?
Jackie McKenzie, the talent popping up, but White House Sarah are putting this time around. The Supreme Court on this first term trust ban in 2018. Jackie.
That counts for a lot. All right, for check-ins. Thank you.
What tells it? Thank you for your time.
Well, we got 9 people watching. Hopefully somebody is going to join us. I don't know whether Dominic said he would be here this morning or the evening, or if he had something going on, but it is what it is. Nothing going on as far as shipping. Closest downbound ship is about 4.5 to 5 hours away. And the closest upbound ship is all the way down in Lake Erie.
Get stream as well.
I'm confident that this list will change over time. Some of the risk during my time as Secretary of State change.
As you can see, it's rainy and dull here today. It's been raining ever since last night about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Rain, rain, rain.
President Biden just simply refused to address.
First. The broad instruction prohibited in suspend the entry of elements. This is set forth is that the president finds that entry of the covered area detrimental to the person. Rick Jenkins mentioned this. He said there will be challenges and unlikely data. I'm sure there are going to be challenges to it, and we'll see. Think about it. That there's so many fires being set over. I said it's not going to get the same attention that the travel ban did in the first place. And they do have a responsibility to act responsibly in terms of who comes to the country. But see where this all shakes out. Here this week. And that's two Chinese nationals, Preston and Joyce. What they were bringing in, period. Here's also was on the lookout for these two. They've been arrested with the court. So your reaction to this?
So, what's everybody up to? Good morning, Russell. Yeah, it's still raining here, Jim. It shows it on the weather radar that we're going to have rainstorm situation until about 2 o'clock 2 to 4 o'clock this afternoon, depending upon how fast it moves.
Your ingredients, some pathogen be capable of wiping out crops. Is this a pervasive problem? Agro-terrorism is not a word that we usually see on papers.
This threat, Jackie, and the threat from terrorism is something that the first Trump administration worked on. That this one is as well. These biorisks are very real. So what happened to hens and laying hens that are ability to deliver eggs to the market when you can introduce injury and risk into the food supply chain, you can do real harm. We saw what happened in the Wuhan lab. We know that the Chinese Communist Party is working on many bioagents, and some of them I'm confident they're working to figure out how they can deploy in a way that impacts the United States, benefits them, and puts real risk on the United States. It's really interesting. This is to use that. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate it.
Administration's ramping up pressure on Columbia University. Yesterday, the Justice Department of Education sent a letter to the commission that oversees the school's accreditation. It argued the college violated Title VI anti-discrimination laws and no longer meets quality standards. Nate Boy is live at Columbia this morning. Good morning, Nate.
Hey, Jackie, Bill, good morning. So the stakes are high here at Columbia University because if the school loses its accreditation, that would mean that students here will no longer receive federal loan their grants, which would have a big
That's what I was looking at. It looks like 4 or 5 o'clock. It should clear up. We'll see. That's right, Jim.
administration says Columbia acted with, quote, deliberate indifference toward the harassment of Jewish students during anti-Israel protests on campus. Education Secretary Linda McMahon said, quote, just as the Department of Education has an obligation to uphold federal anti-discrimination law, university accreditors have an obligation to ensure member institutions abide by their standards. Columbia says it addressed those concerns directly with its accrediting agency, adding, quote, Columbia is deeply committed to combating anti-Semitism on our campus. We take this issue seriously and are continuing to work with the federal government to address it. Still, tensions remain high on campus. Just last month, police arrested 80 people after anti-Israel agitators stormed Columbia's Butler Library. And at Harvard University last night, Trump signed a proclamation temporarily blocking international students from coming to study at Harvard. He accused the university of refusing to provide information to the Department of Homeland Security about the known illegal activity of foreign students. And it will have a big impact. The newest numbers from Harvard show more than 27% of its students are from other countries. Now, in a statement given to the school's newspaper, Harvard University argues the suspension is unlawful. This is another illegal retaliatory effort taken by the Trump administration. I'll send it back to you, Jack.
All right, Hayward first this morning. Thank you, Nate.
I mean, clearly, it's not the decision to sell mine, and nation groups something different. Office prior to him, continued from father accused of killing his 3 daughters.
We got it because the process of finding people.
ICE agents capturing more than 2,000 illegal immigrants in a single day as the Trump administration ramps up efforts to carry out its deportation operation.
Also, now responded to accusations leveled against him. What he has said.
Boone's doing good, Jim. Otherwise, he wants to go out all the time, and he gets severely wet out there. And I have to dry him off and bring him in the house. In fact, sometimes I have to chase him to get him to come in. Oh, no, get up and lay down. No. Sit down. Sit.
Thanks for calling Consumer Cellular. Network coverage and customer satisfaction. And that's the only thing that's going on. How they went into being on a boldly breaking up a little. What happened? What cover? Yep. Start at just $20. Sentence from that. Not fun. Years ago, you probably thinking about replacement windows, but Anderson was. In 1995, Anderson scientists invented a game-changing window material that was better and stronger than anything else on the market. They called it Fireworks material. Yeah, renewal by Anderson. Here we are 30 years later, and the our Fireworks material is still unmatched. No other company makes it.
Ouch, my knee.
We cover the windows and the installation. We take care of it all. And here's the big payoff. Anderson products increase.
Yeah, I know, Jim. Getting around is hard for you, and I appreciate everything that you always, the friendship that you have for me. That's great.
During our 30th anniversary sales event, buy one window.
I didn't see Giggles in here. Is he in the chat? No.
Because we want to take care of the people who help take care of us. Purdue Play Anderson is proud to offer an
Oh, he's here. Mudball's here. Oh, there's Giggles. Up at 9 o'clock. Are you at work, TJ?
It's a room.
Check your price today. Vans.com.
Well, Angel is still just a puppy, which is great, Jim. Boone is like 3.5, almost 4 years old, but I'm sure that it's well, that's Jim. That's greatly appreciated. Not much going on down by the river, as you can see. There's one car there parked, and it's just a rainy, nasty, kind of yucky day.
Officially directing DOJ to investigate whether President Biden.
Oh wow! Hishio says his niece's 6-month-old puppy is 80 pounds. Oh my goodness! What kind of dog is it? Yeah, I don't know, JD, where they are. I don't know where Joe is. I don't know. Uh, DJ checked in first thing when we signed on. I don't know if he's at work. Um, Justin, what he's up to, who knows? But it's a case of everybody's got things to do, especially first thing in the morning. They might have things to do, or as other places to be. Yeah, Warren. Oh, a Great Dane. Oh my gosh, it's a Great Dane puppy. It's gonna be a big dog.
That I do. All right. Yes, thank you. So,
Democrats echo the same. The bottom line is, this is also a distraction. The idea of focusing on President Biden is a way of distracting from Donald Trump's efforts to completely undermine You won the election, let's move forward. But if we're gonna move forward, do it lawfully. Don't try to bring us back to the box. Sir, you can respond to that. Tell me. Republicans are awesome.
I think that the president wants to say that the Department of Justice look into the matter, that there's been a lot of constitutional questions that have been raised, they can't be answered. American people are entitled to this, whether being planned by appointing a responsibility. You got here. Your hunch of the move. My hunch of the that they're going to come up with a lot of things that the president did not sign, maybe thousands of things that's signed by all that. And if that's the case, it raises a lot of questions about the surplus when 2,500 people were farmed, including people with a burn addiction. Those are serious charges. I don't know the answer, but I'm sure that Ben Bothy will get to the bottom.
Okay, is that right? Yeah, I'll give you some option. It's my understanding it's not illegal to use your.
I can't answer that question. Maybe I should be able to, but I can't. I'm not going to comment on something.
Okay, so what the president's talking about is two judges appointed benches on the issues of meeting thousands. The questions about parties, etc. And we'll see where this goes. In the meantime, after you had Mr. When he was in charge, there are some doubts in the Republicans about looking into radical traditionalist Catholics in America. And he eventually copped the darts on FBI office in one part of the country that had this particular memo. Here he is, now 2 years ago.
Oh, so you have an 11-year-old 55-pound butterball?
Each of these other cases, they sent those sentences about the other officers' cases to them.
Jonathan, good morning.
As the pain that we described your case, right? That's all the other officers had. So it was.
It's just the weather's just not cooperative for much of anything, but then again, I don't hardly have anything I need to do pending, you know? It's been raining on and off since late yesterday, and it's supposed to last maybe until 2, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon.
The Southern Center, Poverty Law Center, was telling people that the Catholic Church needed to be locked because it could be considered a terrorist organization. And just even that charge in and of itself is ridiculous. And you think that a responsible FBI director make sure that that shouldn't be followed up on.
So you're saying that Christopher Wray was lying, so
Yeah, he was.
how come?
Well, he said that there was a memo that just went to the Richmond Law Center, and I gave you the figures that 13 other documents went out, and it went out to 1,000 people. That's more than just Richmond.
Why would he have a case in his hearing under
It could be. I suppose the only excuse he can give me for accusing him of lying, he was going to have to get or not. But it seems to me that just the issue of the Catholic Church being considered a terrorist organization or terrorist activity by the Southern Poverty Law Center ought to be enough to raise questions on how ridiculous it is in the first place that the Catholic Church or Catholics ought to be punished.
expect to look at this?
I would, well, first of all, got the information. We're going to see whether or not the hearing is necessary. I don't mind the hearing if we can't get the information.
So things are coming from written to our case, we'll give you.
Chuck Rasmussen, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Jack Bull.
This morning testimony is set to resume in the trial against Sean Diddy Combs. On stand, a woman alleges he held her over a hotel balcony. What it's been like inside the courtroom. Plus, Secretary R.K. Jr. introducing Operation Stork Speed, ordering a full review of all baby formula made in the USA. First deep dive since 1998.
Something to be proud of. Oh, safe. This next 2010,
They're in dismounted patrol. I have them step in the wrong spot and take your time around. Yes. This is the date out, so I lost my legs almost immediately. I lost my, but they didn't pull my leg. My arms, they're on, so I close my eyes, thinking to myself, if I just keep breathing, I will make it home to my wife. I just wanted to serve my country. Still adapting to the city life. It was hard having everybody change their lifestyle, take care of me. School home doesn't feel like home. They had to carry my chair up the stairs. The hardest thing in my life was to have to call my children to help pick me off the bathroom floor. Where do you go when home? Yes, I'm on the waiting list now. It's gonna be amazing. It's more low technology. It makes my life a lot easier. It is 100% accessible. That's built into my needs. And just amazing.
being able to just take care of myself is
This home will allow me to be self-sufficient. It'll help me live my life. It gives me back some of my dignity. There is a waiting. This is the way.
Here comes Lance.
Maybe too many. Thanks, Tom. All it's free. Safety.
Morning, Paul.
Good morning, Lance. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. You heading to work?
I am. It's a little gray out, but it's going to get nicer, they say. So we'll see. It's going to be
Oh,
like,
what's that song? There's always tomorrow, you know?
yeah, exactly. You fly a ship this morning?
No, it's just been nasty.
Okay.
I got a bunch of them yesterday. How many did I finally end up doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ships yesterday.
Whoa. And do you burn pretty much a battery a ship or not quite?
No, I can get maybe 2 ships out of a battery,
Okay.
but in a lot of cases, if I'm just coming and going, I will take the battery out and it's only like 3/4 still charged and swap it out and then charge it up again.
Yeah.
Because I like my plan is, unless they're back-to-back ships, my plan is to swap the battery out. Because I don't like to take off unless you got a full battery, you know?
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same vein, but and I also don't like to charge my batteries until they're cold. You know, if they're warm to the touch, I let them cool down.
Lance, Jim says good morning to you.
Good morning, Jim. Good morning, everyone in the chat. How are you doing, Jim? And Jim lives like an hour from you, doesn't he?
Yep, he's south of me, about an hour.
Okay.
No, you're not going to go outside because it's raining out. You've been outside. I wiped you down twice. You're just being a little butthead. I know. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down.
I miss my dog.
I bet you do. I couldn't stand having a dog here. Although there's times when Boone kind of pisses me off. He doesn't want to listen to me because he's got that Beagle mentality. If he gets on something, he's on something, you know. But
Yeah.
my lab mix was a great dog. She listened to me and did whatever I asked her to do, and took her wherever I wanted to. And Boone, sometimes he goes outside and he doesn't care what it is. I have to go out and actually drag him back, not drag him back in, but yell at him enough time, tell him to get in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
get in the
Sure.
house.
Well, we're getting close to the end of the school year. Looking forward to it, Paul.
When is the end of your school year?
Mine is the 20th, and we have half a day on the 20th.
Okay,
And-
so you got just a little bit more than 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. And then we have the 19th off. So it's kind of a screwy deal. We go into the 18th full time, and then the 19th we have off. And then the 20th we come back for half a day. I will get probably 2 kids all day on that half day. 2 kids will show up.
Oh,
in-
really?
in all 3 of my classes. Yeah, because they, it's like half a day. You don't really do anything, so the kids just don't come.
And
kind of a
the parents want them out of the house. Is that what-
Yeah, exactly. But in high school, it's not quite as bad. If you were in middle school or elementary, parents definitely want them babysat someplace.
Yeah, yeah.
For high school kids, they can get themselves in a little bit more trouble on their own. But
Now, would you say that 50% of the high school kids drive up there?
that's probably a good number. Yeah, I would say that.
Because I know there's a big parking lot behind our high schools where the kids drive the cars up and park them.
Yeah.
If they're 16 and older.
Yeah, I would say about 50 would probably be a good number. That's interesting. That's an interesting stat. I'm gonna look into that today.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Now, do they have permit parking there too, or no?
Yeah,
So
yeah, they have to buy a permit, and it's for the year. And it's not expensive. It's like $5 or something.
Yeah,
Or, I don't know.
just to register that car is to going to Donnie Shoals or whatever,
Yeah, exactly. Some high schools, it's kind of cool. The seniors get to paint their parking stall, but
Oh,
they have
really?
but they pay for it. So it's kind of a fundraiser. So any senior that wants their own parking stall, they can only park there, and then they can design what it looks like. And I remember my daughter doing that a couple years ago. That was the thing: is wait till we're seniors so we can have our own parking stall. It was kind of a badge of, and not a lot of kids did it, and it was like, I think $25 to do it or something. That included your parking pass. So it was like really $20 fundraiser. And I would say probably 25 kids do it a year.
Now, how's your daughter doing?
She's good. We're feeding her all kinds of food, to see what makes her break out and not break out. And I think we've decided that it's stress. Stress is causing those bumps on her lips. Because
Oh,
we're
okay.
feeding her everything, and she has yet to get them in the month of May. So since she's been home since the 14th. So from the 14th till now, she's got one. Semi trying to change lanes on me, right in front of me. Jeez. Okay. So yeah, she's gotten like small bumps like the first week she was home, really, really minute. But other than that, it's been fine. And like I said, we're feeding her, more food, different foods that she would normally eat, but she was afraid to at school. And a lot of the stuff was like the red, like ketchup or tomato paste or, marinara, that type of stuff seemed to really set her on. But she's had that and she's been okay. So, and I didn't realize she's taking a full load of summer school online at home. So she's pretty busy. She wants to knock out those classes so it makes her load lighter during the school year.
Right. Well, she's going for a nursing degree.
She is, yes. And those nurses, they don't get to have as much fun as when I was in school and I was in education. We got to relax a little more than they do. There's no getting crazy during the school week for her.
Right. Now, does she have a boyfriend down there?
Not down there. Up here she does.
Okay.
For now anyway. She's he's really a nice guy, but mom is kind of crazy, and so I don't know how much longer my daughter's going to be able to put up with her. An example is today is their, I don't know, I think it's their 2-year anniversary, and kids, they want to celebrate every little thing, and when you're young you do. But so my daughter was like, okay, what are we going to do? She asked a couple weeks ago, what are we going to do on our anniversary? And I want to do this and that. And he was like, he was agreeing to everything. But then he knew that it was his brother's birthday today as well. And usually mom makes the family do something together on birthdays.
Right.
So she was like, I know something's going to come up and we're not going to be able to do anything. Well, they got what they call Diamond Club tickets, which are really nice tickets right behind the Mariners home plate, so it's like right there on the field practically, you sit right behind the dugout or the home plate, and you get free food and drink, and they wait on you, but they're very expensive tickets. And his mom's boss basically is taking them, and his mom's boss has got some money, so he's taking the whole family of like 5 to go. So the boyfriend, I'm sorry, this is such a long story. The boyfriend had to take the day off because he's a mechanic during the day and then goes to school at night, or goes online school in college. So he had to take the day off to go to the game, but he didn't really tell my daughter that. So he told my daughter like Monday, and she was like, what? You said we were going to do something, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, my mom's making me, and so my daughter's kind of pissed off. And then come last night, the boyfriend says, I forgot to take the day off. I can't go. So he can't go to the Mariner game. Mom's making him pay the $700 ticket for the game. But she always threatens things like this. She's also holding over his head because we want to take him to Hawaii with us, and she's holding that over his head. If you don't get good grades and you don't do what I say, we're not going to buy you a ticket to Hawaii. And they still haven't bought the ticket to Hawaii. We're going in 2 weeks. Every day she waits, the price of that ticket goes up. And they're not rich people. They make a modest living, so it's not like they can, go buy an expensive plane ticket. But once he gets there, we buy everything. I mean, he doesn't have to buy anything once we land.
Well, the thing of it is what your daughter needs to realize. This is all indications of what kind of an intrusive mother-in-law she would be.
Exactly.
And that you got to learn from experience. Don't assume that she's going to behave like a great mother-in-law.
Exactly, and that's what my wife is kind of, telling her, basically saying, hey, this isn't going to change. This is the mother-in-law you're going to have if this is what you choose. You know, she's not going to all of a sudden change. And, you know, you'll
What's
be
up,
doing
Jim,
every
TJ?
event. You'll be doing every event at their house, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and you won't see us at all.
What's up, Jim, TJ, Corey, Donald, Warren,
It
Russell,
says Justin is
Brenda,
talking, but I don't,
JD?
you got no camera on or anything?
Let's see. Hold on a sec. Jason, I guess I Corey, Randy, how's it going?
Morning, everyone in the chat.
Good morning, Joe.
What's up, Joe?
Justin,
You
you
don't
got
have no sound.
camera on, right?
Yeah, why?
Well, because all it does is it put just we can hear your voice. That's all.
Hey, Lance,
you-
what you're saying is that the mother-in-law causing all that stress.
Yep.
I thought
Yep.
it was the boyfriend. Might be a combination.
Yeah, it's a combination because it's the relationship she has with the boyfriend versus the relationship that the mother has with both of them, and
So she told her mom, his mom told him he had to pay $700 for that ticket
yep,
to go to that baseball game.
yeah, because
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude. Yeah, nope.
And she makes threats like that all the time, Justin, and never follows through. She kind of changes on the whim. But
Well, if they don't have a lot of money, what the fuck are they doing spending $700 on one seat to go to a baseball game?
Yeah,
That's
got a
Yeah.
point.
Well, it's her boss that's paying for everything, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, you're basically eating a ticket, so we're going to make you pay Brian, the guy that bought the tickets, the boss. We're going to make you pay him because he was so nice to get all these tickets for us, and now
And
you're not going.
How much you want to bet he didn't even pay for those tickets?
Yeah, and that's my guess as well, Justin.
He probably
you know,
got them
again-
from a company or something that he works with. Or,
Yep.
Something.
And
Yeah.
mom is just again making the threat, trying just kind of controlling the narrative.
she's a controlling freak, and your daughter needs to stay away from the whole situation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one
Yeah.
thing if he stands up to his mom, but if he gives into everything she does once, oh yeah, that's bad.
See, and he's not strong enough to stand up to her, and he's living at home still, and he's only going to be 20 in about a week or two. He's about 9 months younger than my daughter.
Grade, but they graduated together, but different. He graduated young. My daughter graduated old. So we'll see. Put you guys in my pocket.
Oh, Jason gets to work from home today. Nice.
Yeah. You gotta be
He'll
playing
be-
Fortnite.
He'll be working on some kind of mission around the house. Dude, bro, did you just fart in the phone?
Ooh.
Who just put us in his pocket? You didn't hear that?
As Lance,
There it goes again. He's just walking and pooping. Need to mute himself before he puts us in his pocket. See?
There you
What's up, Jim? Mark, what's up? Yeah, Jason's like, who would do such a thing? Walk around with a microphone.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And all them egg McMuffins you've been eating.
I know he be eating McDonald's breakfast a lot, don't he?
Yeah. He's to McDonald's egg McMuffins as Paul is to Tim Hortons Boston creams.
I actually get their steak, egg, and cheese McMuffins. I like the steak bagel on a McMuffin. So I always have them add the steak and the onions and the bagel sauce. And I put it on a English muffin. I need to find out where I can buy
Oh,
first
Frank,
I need it. I've got to figure out the ingredients to McDonald's bagel sauce. Their breakfast sauce, that shit is good. Need their breakfast sauce and their find out where they buy their steaks from. I do like those steaks. Those do make some good sandwiches. Yeah, I know, right, Jason? He's out there crap dusting.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Not with this in his pocket, he don't. Yeah, mute us before you put us in there. Oh, I was definitely Lance Shady.
He was in the bathroom. He didn't want us to hear it flush the toilet.
Oh, what do you have to do from home today, Jason? Assuming you got a project around the house if you're staying home.
All right, Brian, as far as thank you, Brian.
Oh, you're sewing a bunch of flight suits together. Fixing them.
what do you guys think about the P. Diddy trial? I don't watch it much, but they
I haven't been following it, to be honest with you. I've had like zero interest in it.
Yeah, I'm not watching it either. Not like it was OJ. He's gonna get what he deserves. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Diddy party. What do they call them? The freak offs?
yeah.
They
Yeah.
called his parties the freak offs.
Need to put him in general population, let him do a freak off on him.
He's too famous. I don't think he'd go into gin pop. Depending on where you're at, dude, they'll separate you now if you're like such a high profile case. Everybody wants people like that to go to jail and get justice, which is nice and everything, but they're not going to put somebody in a situation where they're going to get killed by that. As I said, most prisons and jails now, they don't put child, people that do like child predator type things. They don't put those people with the regular prisoner. A lot of prisons now have a special yard just for those people. And usually they call it like a couple of prisons that my cousin and Sarah's mom worked at. They were called special needs yards. And that's where like rapists or people that were like child predators. It'd be like gang snitches, People like that.
That company Woot has a DJI Mavic 3 Pro on sale again. But it's with the one with it's a fly more with the Pro controller. And they
Oh,
want
Jim.
$30-something $100 for it.
30 something hundred?
I think it's
Or did you
3,100.
say, oh, 3,100? I was like, it's a fact.
It's
It's the
30
way you
something.
worded that.
Yeah.
Jim
30
said,
3189.
Jim said, I have to tell everyone what happened to me a couple of weeks ago. So to start off, I wash my clothes about every 2 days, which is way overboard, but I've always been, what do you mean every 2 days? You only got 2 outfits? Okay,
And the
what else
drone,
happened?
700 off. They're taking 700 off the price of that.
That's from what, DJI?
Yeah, it's the one like Captain Ray bought him. He got it in 2 days. And it's normally $38.89. It's the one with the Pro controller like I got.
Uh-huh.
So you get the Fly More with the RC Pro. 3 batteries, the whole thing. $31.89. It's a good price. If I had $31.89 sitting around, I'd get it.
I think you got it. You got this, Joe. Don't worry about it.
Well, no, I don't have it. I wish I had it. But figure I could turn around and get 1,000 back off of that.
Now, when you
Because
call
I
and
could-
split the payments on 20 different credit cards,
Yeah.
I'll put 500 on this one, 200 on this
No,
one.
the only thing I use credit cards for is same as cash, except for one that's got me in a bind because of my stupid daughter. Because everything I put on for her to help her on that credit card that she was supposed to pay me the payment back until she paid it off, or above the payment, I gave her a thing. She was doing it at first, but she ain't working. So guess what? I'm paying it.
So a few weeks before I had a gray hoodie on, I just took out a dryer and I had just showered about an hour before that. So the gray hoodie, I take everything out. So I got ready to go to Walmart to get my yogurt and a few things. I was on a mobility cart. Really could not walk. So anyways, I'm going and looking around different things, and I'm also looking at fishing rods. So after about 45 minutes being in the store, I'm getting ready to check out at the end line where they actually have cashiers. About 6 people behind me, and after about 5 minutes away.
Hey, Joe, that Woot deal is too expensive. Way too expensive.
Yeah, but it's a good deal with the RC Pro because what you do, if like me, I'd have the RC Pro, I could turn around and sell one.
Oh yeah. I didn't see that. I did not see the RC Pro. That is a good deal.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's a good
How
deal.
much is that RC Pro?
1,100.
$1,200.
Yeah.
You get 1,000
1,100.
back off of that. You're getting it for $2,000. That's the Fly More for $2,000.
What would you sell a used Mavic 3 with that RC Pro for?
I just want to tell you what, Jim, don't leave me hanging. Next time, have the rest of the story ready to go.
You said, which one is it?
The Mavic 3 with the RC Pro controller.
Oh, Jim's got me waiting in anticipation.
Good
I
question.
just want to
I
tell
just
you.
want to tell you.
Tell me what?
I agree with you, Randy. But you don't get would you get the nice controller with that for $31.89?
31. It's usually right at like 3,800, 3,900.
So $700 more for the nice controller. If what Randy's putting in the chat anyway. He's said he would buy a Mavic 4 Pro. I don't know that I would buy it without the RC3 The
Well,
nice,
tell me
controller,
that's,
whatever number it is.
tell me that's what it was, JD.
Yeah, I looked every
Oh,
which way just now to find out if there's a way for me to get it at a reasonable price,
that's
per
funny as
month.
shit, Jim.
Can't do it.
Jim went to
I put
the
it this way, I
wall.
wish they would take my card from Crutchfield. They take that credit card Crutchfield has. Shoot, they give me 24 months same as cash.
Well, call Crutchfield and ask him.
Crutchfield don't have the drone.
Is it a credit card that's strictly you can only use with them?
Is
Yeah,
it
it's strictly
Visa
with
or
them.
MasterCard?
No, it's strictly with them.
Joe, you don't get it. When you call them, you say, "You know who I am."
That's it.
Yeah, all the money I
And they-
spent through Crutchfield, they ought to know me.
They stop, drop, and roll.
See, that would set me for a long time because that would give me a Mavic 3 Pro brand new and 3 more batteries.
JD out here ruining plot twists and storylines.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And that controller that's supposed to be here Friday, it said Tuesday now.
It's coming in with your V-copter, buddy.
Now, I don't see. I'm wondering if it could be the V-copter come. There's something
They're gonna-
coming from
yeah.
Utah.
They're going to drop them off the same day.
Well, there's something coming from Utah. It doesn't make sense.
Well, what are you waiting on to come in the mail?
That controller, the one I bought yesterday, it said
Uh-huh.
2 day shipping, and then I got. See, it doesn't make sense because it's coming from Adorama out of New York. But when you put the number in they gave me, something's coming from that number. It says Tuesday now, and it says that it's coming out of Utah. But why would it be coming out of Utah when they're in New York?
What kind
Because-
of controller?
Because they may be drop shipping somebody else's shit.
That's the only thing I'm thinking. Yeah, I got that.
I'm gonna
Or
install it on this baby.
Yeah,
yeah, because they could have a warehouse there too, Joe. They store shit
it
at.
could be. So it's saying
Or-
Tuesday, but I'll probably get it Monday. So it's all right.
Or like I said, it's very possible Crutchfield is drop shipping shit because they might not have it in stock. So
Well, it's a used one. Like I said, it was a used open box.
that don't matter. I could drop shit, use shit off of Amazon.
Built this for the Neo.
If a third party selling a used item, and I go to eBay and list, hey, I got an iPhone 15 used for $500, and I put the exact price with tax, and then I just up that price another $50, $80, and then you pay it. Then I just go to Amazon and I order that used phone from that third party, and then just have them ship it to your address.
Yep.
So you can still sell used stuff as a drop shipper too.
Yep. Here you go, Lance.
Hold on.
I wouldn't want to deal with having to guarantee third party use shit though. I'll tell you that.
Show me, Joe.
Look at it. It's in my hand.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was very articulate with your 3D printer, huh? Wow.
That's a valve cover for my car.
Oh, cool.
What I did is I
Yeah.
found one and I cut the top flat. Then I made a SVC file with the Avada 2 and put it together.
Nice. That will only go to a landfill when you crash your car. Good job.
I know. So at least I'll have it for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I
really
said,
need to
well-
come up with like a
Right.
reusable filament. Like say you want to print out a little statue and then you don't like the look of it, you should be able to just melt it down and like reuse it if you want. Which I know they kind of got those machines already where you can do that kind of shit, but
Yeah. Need to buy that new machine they got coming up. Cause I tell you what, if we can't fly drones, I'm buying that new machine. I'll give me something to do.
well, Trump had a press conference last night, but it wasn't no executive orders, so
No, it's not.
I don't know.
I still think that what's gonna happen is, I think
Huh?
what's gonna wind up happening is what you call it, it's just getting that, it's not gonna ban them, because they're gonna do the study first.
Well,
This is the machine I'm talking about. This is the next greatest thing.
all depends.
It's a personal 3D texture UV printer. You can take anything, the bottles like this, the coins, anything you want, and it'll put a texture on them. That's the next greatest thing right there.
How much is that?
You don't want to know.
What, is it like, is it a 3D printer? The fuck is that?
Right now, it's like a 3D printer. Let me go back.
Eufy make.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's how much
3D
money they've
texture
collected
UV
so far.
Okay.
Yeah,
it uses
$16.99 is what it costs.
so it uses UV rays somehow.
Yeah, hold
Great.
on.
A box is going to give you melanoma.
Hold on.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse, Jim.
But
You
you
guys
get
ever-
your pictures in there, and then it gives you a little edge, like etched in.
Did you guys read the last part of Jim's story? He went to Walmart. He was in line. Some lady tapped him on the shoulder. He had a pair of underwear in his hoodie. Didn't realize it.
That's funny.
She tapped on his shoulder. He looked at her. He was like, I know I'm sexy. No, sir. There's a pair of underwear in you. Tapped on his shoulder. I still got it. Yeah. Who's that trying to get in? I can't see right now.
Mark White. Afternoon, Mark. How are your legs feeling?
Okay, actually. I'm walking all right, so that's good.
Are you ready to run a marathon, huh?
No. Went to the foot clinic today, and they said that the bone that they could feel in the hole is now growing skin over it. Well, not skin over, flesh over it. So it's starting to heal up properly now.
That's a good thing.
But one of the end bone in my big toe has now disintegrated and come out, and the infection hasn't spread to the others, which is yeah, that thing about Trump. They had on our news that he was talking about the fact that he had an hour and a half conversation on the phone with Putin.
Yeah, he did a little press conference last night, but it was only like 45 minutes long or something, and it wasn't nothing. It had nothing to do with drones.
It wasn't doing that.
No, it was.
I sat and watched the whole thing.
What's up? He's consulting with Johnny.
What's up, Johnny?
Who?
Trump is consulting with you about this bill.
Shit.
Nobody even knows what.
Say goodbye to your drones.
Well, like I said, the one positive thing was the last two times that he did talk about him in public, he didn't see him overly concerned about him. So,
No,
because like when,
maybe
like I
not.
said, if you asked when he was asked about the New Jersey drones after he got the investigation report,
So we
he
know what they
didn't.
are.
He's like, we know what they are. They were this and this, and some just regular people out flying their own personal drones. Like he didn't seem to really care. The only thing that's really came to his attention is all these military bases that apparently reported tons of drone sightings near and around their bases. I think that's what's bringing it about the whole thing up.
That's easily fixed. Give them an air defense around there that if somebody's flying a drone there, you take it down. And then whoever's flying it, go to jail for the rest of their life.
Well, the thing is do these bases? I don't really see a reason for them to have to lie about a drone, just a standard drone, just that they saw buzzing around outside their fences. Whether it was actually a security issue or not, that's one thing. But
Yeah.
What y'all do?
Johnny,
you
you
what-
need to invest in a gimbal. One of those fancy gimbals that everyone's doing reviews on.
Nah,
but,
I'm good. I don't need another gadget.
One of the things I
Apparently
thought,
you do. Have you seen your video? Are you,
Huh?
Apparently you do. Are you watching your video?
No. I'm just standing here.
Making me seasick.
Lance
No,
said you
look,
got a
that-
D- on this.
That's a seasickness. There you go.
tell you what, one of the things I thought was funny was the fact that he said he wasn't going to allow what's happened to Europe and terrorism is going to happen to America. And as far as I can remember, America's getting more terrorism than anybody else.
I mean, that is true.
That's because all the
I mean,
people
you
from
really
Europe were let into the country.
Yeah, you can't stop. The thing is, you can never really truly stop that. At least not currently. You can try to mitigate it as much as possible, but
Yeah. You could have a police on every corner. You're still gonna have murderers.
Yep.
and sometimes it could be a police officer.
Oh yeah, no lie.
Been quite a few police officers arrested. Like that one in California, wasn't California with the state trooper, and he turned out to be like a serial rapist or something.
Wow.
I think it was a California state trooper. It was years ago. Like 30, 40 women came forward when he finally got busted.
Hey, Johnny, Whoop has another DJI deal.
Oh really? What they got?
Mavic 3 Pro Fly Mode Kit RC Pro with it for $3,100.
Yeah. I'm not buying another drone.
Yeah, that's a good deal, but I'm not buying.
I wouldn't buy the RC. I wouldn't want the older RC though.
That's it. You don't need another RC Pro.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, if I did buy it, I have an RC Pro I could sell. Get maybe 1,000 back for a brand new one, 800, 900 back. So it would still be a good deal.
With the RC Pro 2 out, you might be lucky if you get that for the original one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was didn't they just have it? Oh, that was with the regular RC for the 15. Yeah.
So Joe, you buy that, and I'll buy the RC Pro from you for $500.
There you go, 500. There you go. Sold.
Well, the bad thing is that was supposed to be spoken on yesterday, and it wasn't. And honestly, I wouldn't buy anything until you guys know something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because that controller's 3 years old. Nobody's gonna want. I wouldn't buy an older controller unless you just plan on keeping that drone with that controller. Plus, it may not even support it with updates and all.
Well, it should be supported because it's got the fly, it's what you call it, app. The Flymore app on it. So as long as that's being updated, it's got to be updated.
Okay, we
But
need to
it'll just
start
be updated to a certain
a
point.
GoFundMe for Johnny on a Osmo Mobile.
I got an Osmo Mobile.
You're not using it.
No, it's home.
Yeah. There you go. Much better.
You got your V-Copter yet?
Yeah, you didn't get yours?
Yeah, mine came in yesterday.
Yeah, I got mine the day before.
Okay. I don't know. I got a shipment come out of South Carolina. I mean, Utah. I can't identify.
I wonder how Brenda made out on that package from the post office she didn't get yet.
Yesterday she called and she was on the phone for a long time and gave up. She said she's gonna call again today.
Well, I just wonder
Well,
how far away that post office is from her.
did you guys file a
I
lost
did.
package thing with them?
I did.
Yeah, because they're supposed to get back to you within 3 business days.
Well, she told me, she says, she put all the information in there with the correct address and everything, and I haven't heard nothing back.
Why, who lost the package?
I mailed something to Brenda, and when she gave me the address, she inverted the middle two numbers on it.
Oh, well, she gave you the wrong address, huh? Well, it
Yeah.
should probably still get there.
Well, they said no such address, returned to sender, but it's still
Well.
sitting in Port Charlotte, Florida for a week.
So what, the wrong zip code?
No, it's got the right zip code, but
It's
the
the
street's
address.
not that big. And this is my biggest question. She says she's lived there 30-something years. Okay. And I'm sure she gets mail there daily or every
Yeah.
other day or a few days.
Yeah.
So they got her name on the package. Why couldn't they do a cross reference by name on that street? Oh, it's too much work, huh?
Yeah, they ought to.
And like in my case, I get the same woman every day, except for one day a week that she's on my route. Every day except one day a week. So my package, she tells me, you know, something was coming for your son, but it had your address, and I forwarded it back over the way he lives. You know?
Well, the thing of it is if she lives close to that post office, she should drive over there and get somebody's face.
All she has to do is say, "Do you know who I am? I know Joe," and things are going to start to roll.
Yeah, they roll all right.
Well, hopefully you
Joe
get it back at
Trombatour.
least.
Do you know Joe Trombatour?
Just don't go in there and get mad at him and tell him. Now I see why people go postal, because that does not go over well. Not that it's ever happened to me, but you know, just saying.
I hate the post office.
Oh, you too. Me too.
Every time I get a package get sent through the post office, it's the first thing I'm betting on. I'm a 50-50 chance I might get the damn thing.
Yeah, I got to mail that controller out today. I sold. I'm either going to take a ride down there and hand it to him, or I'll just wait for her to come here about 1 o'clock and hand it to her.
Oh, dude, we had that old mail lady we had on our old mail route in our old neighborhood. God, she was horrible, dude.
You can't give parcels to the postman over here. They're delivery only, not collection.
Yeah, over here, if you want to deliver or them to pick something up, you just put your flag up on your mailbox. And they'll grab it either out of your mailbox, or you can request a pickup at your house.
You got Johnny mad, he got off.
Now we've got letterboxes that they empty every day. But
Yeah, like
if
the big
too
ones
big,
that are just around
yeah,
public.
Brenda says she's got
Yeah.
a different carrier every day.
Yeah, we
Wow.
got those two, the big blue ones.
but if
They're-
it's too big to fit in one of them, you have to take it to the post office.
And those are usually in just random ass areas too. Like it might just be one in the middle of like a freaking shopping center complex. Or
Oh,
there
we've
might
got
be-
them all over the place.
I mean, they're all over the place. It's just you kind of have to know where they're at. They're not in the same like common area every time.
Brenda, how close do you live to the post office?
Even UPS and FedEx have drop boxes too. If you already
Yeah.
have a label and you slap it on your package, you can take it to their little drop box and drop it in there. They'll take
Yeah,
up packages up to a certain size.
They usually pick them up from shops. A lot of our little general stores do parcel collections, and you can actually have it delivered to the shop as well and go and pick it up yourself if you want.
10 miles, huh? Well, if it were me and if you want to keep getting the runaround, the frustration level would be worth the 10 miles to me, but
Yeah, like I said, that mail lady I had was horrible though. You know how many times, at least 5 or 6 times that I can remember, where she put everybody's mail one house behind. So I had my neighbor's house to the right of me, but my mail was at the neighbor's house to the left of me. So she put everybody's mail one. Oh my God, dude, she was the worst mail lady. And then she would claim she delivered. I think she was still in packages too, because there was 2 different times where she claimed she delivered a package to my house. When I called up to the post office and asked them where my package was at, oh yeah, I delivered it there. I know, I remember that. Yeah, I put it there. And then I went over to my neighbor's house. This is before I had my security system, and went on. He showed me his security cameras, and she never even stopped in my house. Just rolled right by. Both times that I called the post office about it, he had footage showing that she drove by, and they never did anything about it. At least not that I know of. Because I called them the second time my package went missing. I called them and said, "You guys got to do something." I said, "Sounds like I feel like somebody in your organization is stealing packages." And I even called the sheriff's department about it, and they said, "Well, there's nothing we can do because it's federal, because it's a mail service." So, but I never did hear anything back because, like I said, I wasn't the only one that packages were going missing like that.
Damn pill. Well, that's stupid shit. I got 2 pills, right? Freaking the same color. I know they're different because one's thicker than the other one. And they got an H on one and an E on the other. But why make 2 of them the same color look the same? Got a 34 on this one. This one has nothing on one side, got an H on the other side. And this one
What?
got it on 34E.
Lance, whose building are you buzzing through right there?
That's like an Elks Lodge.
I didn't see Mudball.
Thought it was somebody apartment complex and on their balcony. Lance
Yeah.
is zooming by their windows.
Oh no. It's
Look at that modern day lighthouse.
exactly. It's an empty building at this time of the morning. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. No one's even in there.
This is where your cabin's at, right?
No, this is called Browns Point, which is northeast Tacoma.
Nice little,
So
nice
it's
little
near
park
my
there.
neighborhood.
Is that like a little public area too?
Yeah. And they just
Tree.
redid all those sidewalks in the lighthouse.
Hey, Paul, get you a drone like that.
Yeah, no thanks.
You go right through the captain's quarters on the
I don't
ship.
fly defective stuff.
Doesn't fly defective stuff. What the hell's that supposed to mean?
I'm
Well,
trying to figure that out too.
look at the stability. It doesn't have any stability.
Yes, it does.
That's defective.
It's stable.
So
The
if you
camera's stable.
Joe, if you designed that as a drone to the normal public 5 years ago, it wouldn't have sold. But there's always somebody willing to buy and fly defective merchandise.
It did sell more than 5 years ago. FPV's been around a long time.
That's why I say FPV is defective.
Oh my God, here we go.
That camera's perfectly stable.
I buzzed a seagull, and it doesn't even move hardly.
Aren't you glad it didn't move?
I know.
What drone is this anyway?
About a 2.
Okay.
It's perfectly stable, Paul.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. I mean, my eyes are going all over the screen like this. Yeah, that's
the movement.
That's stable. Your version of stable and my version of stable are two separate things.
Oh yeah, we've seen you fly in the trees.
And land on icebergs.
Hey, can you imagine me flying a ship like that? No.
I can imagine somebody flying your ships like that.
Yeah.
You don't see any videos flying a ship like that.
Because you'd be getting some really cool shots if you were doing an FPV.
Yep. But I wouldn't fly it with a motion control. I'd have to have the sticks. I'd fly it with the sticks because then I could do orbits around it and everything else. Or I'd do head tracking where I could do. I'd get head tracking down where I could do the head tracking, do the orbits. But that camera's perfectly stable, Paul. And if
Yeah,
he had it,
that's why you bounce them off the poles and stuff, right?
well, there's the deal.
Here we go.
Put yours in FPV mode; it'll look the same. And is that defective?
Yeah, that's when I complained about it being in FPV mode. I had to put it in follow me mode.
What's the name of that movie? The Princess Bride. You keep on saying that word. I don't think you know what it means. Defective. Defective means something broken. That is not broken.
The gimbal is the gimbal's flopping around, and that's what's going on.
The gimbal is not flopping around. That's the
Oh
drone.
my God, he's just trying to get you riled up, Joe.
Oh, no, he's not.
The bait.
No, it actually means it's coming to the country illegally because it defected.
That's right. That's right. They're selling all the defective stuff to the FPV flyers.
Not defective, defected.
We understand you're jealous, Paul. We understand.
No way. If I flew and it looked like that, I'd stop flying.
Okay, wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. I made it.
Oh yeah, that's some pretty cool shots of that shit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, the shit is the right word for it.
Trouble with Poles is they're too close to Ukraine.
You did a flip right there? Just still?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't do them still.
Badass.
I'd rather do it full speed than do a flip.
That was a good little pan at the end of the ship, JD. When he came around the rear of it. Dre said, I can do that with a camera, John.
Yeah, put it in FPV mode.
There you go, Paul, for your enjoyment.
Our weather
We have to get
cannot
somebody
make
to
up its
sneak in there and
mind.
change it in Paul's control to FPV mode.
No way.
We don't have to have anybody sneak in there. One of these days you'll go pressing buttons and be in FPV mode again. They need to cut him. Cut him from the team right now. Zion Williamson. The guy came to New Orleans, supposed to be the best player in the NBA, gonna be. And he's been here for 3 or 4 years. He's probably played altogether less than a season because he's always been injured. And now he's got allegations that he raped somebody. So cut him. Get rid of him. I know they got a clause in his contract they could do it. So let it go. Morality clause.
Here comes Dre.
Yeah, I got another Aaron Hernandez on their hands.
Yeah. Yeah, Anthony Davis was the same way when he was here. He was always hurt. We paid him for 4 years, 5 years. He was always hurt. What's up, Dre?
Good morning.
Dre.
Dre, you gonna get with that Phantom 4 and fly like that?
I sure can.
Man, it wouldn't be
Do you
defective,
want
would it?
to, Dre? Do you want to fly a Phantom 4 like that?
No, I've done it on occasion. I've done it with a Phantom 3 Pro because it doesn't have any sensors. So you can dive bomb that thing and twist it around on a dime and whatever else.
There you go.
I thought you flew Skydios.
Yeah, I'm about to say something about your mom. I had to catch my tongue.
Yeah, he's gonna spray paint all these Phantoms blue.
Oh, Matt tried to make his DJI look like a Altel. Remember when he stuck the orange skin on the Mavic 3?
Yeah. So I heard you stayed up late last night, Justin, waiting for the drone announcement.
No, I saw it like 9 o'clock or something last night that he had done a press conference, and I watched it. It was only like 45 minutes, and he didn't say nothing about drones in it.
As I said, he didn't even mention a word. I think he was just trying to push the TV ratings. Get an extra million views of drone pilots trying to be all sitting on the edge of our seat.
I actually think that was somebody in the drone community trying to pull their numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
Because, boy, they got a lot of clickbait on it, didn't they?
That's what I'm saying. Didn't even mention a word. I'm glad because 9 o'clock is way past my bedtime. I'll be fighting staying up past 7.
That's a bit like me on a Saturday. I have problems staying up past 5 in the morning.
Partner, welcome to Explosive Gold Blitz.
And he might not even, I mean, it may be that he looked at some shit in the background already and just doesn't really find it to be an issue. I don't know. Wait and see.
Maybe somebody told him that the FCC
Mm.
already did an investigation into it ages ago and decided that there was no problems.
Yeah, but you really can't go on an investigation that's like 5 or 6 years old because things have changed since then. He wants a new updated investigation and they don't find anything that's even better.
I don't think it was that long ago.
The Pentagon did one about 3 years ago, and then there's another security company that's worldwide that posted. There's a security company that investigates all the big companies for security.
Yeah, but that was a couple years before that.
Yeah, and then
I
they
believe.
said there's no problem. So, have them do it again. That's all it takes.
Yeah, because if the evidence shows the same thing now that it did 3 to 5 years ago,
Yeah, Dre, you know what would be the
that
best
just
thing? He can
that's
go and
actually a
tell
good thing.
DJI, you want to sell your drones here, come build them here. Or at least put a plant here, something here. And that'll do it.
Like I said, I don't see the need for executive order when it's already in the NDAA law about the process.
Yeah,
And that's why I said it didn't make any sense of why he's going to do this executive order thing. I'm like, that doesn't even add up. It's already existing law. All thing is, you just got to just tell somebody on a phone call, do it. It's already law.
you got a point. Because that's the whole, if they're not doing it, call them up and say, do your job.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's why I said it doesn't make any sense. You have to do an executive order. It doesn't add up to me. So this whole thing about him banning drones or whatever, I said, like I tell them, I said it's already been established. When they did that, when they passed that NDAA last year in December, and I said, and that's why I told Vic Moss and the rest of those guys, they're all excited. I said, hey, you guys need to read the fine print. And I told them, section 1709, which states about if it doesn't get investigated by one of the security agencies, these drones will effectively get put on the whatever they call it, the ban list or whatever, blacklist or whatever.
And will there be any grandfathering if you already own the drones?
No, like I say, it'll stop any future sales of any Chinese made drones.
So you just be able to run your drones until you can't run them anymore.
Yep.
Or can't find parts for them or batteries.
Yep. Pretty much. You have to find alternative means, just like what Doble was talking about on the Herman and Lawrence's show, that how they got their inventory, the few that they have, is they had to go to a third party, have them order it, and then they sent it to them from wherever it came from. But that's not how you can really do good business when you're not allowed to deal with the manufacturer directly. You're adding layers of cost, either in shipping or actual cost to yourself and trying to have this item on your shelf, which means it's going to cost you more here in the States to get something. Like he mentioned, you still see people with Huawei phones, but how did they get them? How much did they pay for them? And like I say, people are not going to feel like jumping through hoops to find something when you can find a equally level product from Samsung, Apple, and whoever else is making phones still in America, or I should say, have them shipped to America. We don't make phones here in America. We can thank Motorola for that. Good morning, Brenda. So that's my 2 bits on all this nonsense, man. That's why I say I don't get excited about the new drones, because most of the new stuff that comes out, everybody gets excited because it's supposed to be they think it's supposed to be for consumers. And I said, oh, y'all must be some high dollar consumers when y'all start paying $3,000 and above for drones. To me, that's enterprise level money.
Well, most of the guys in the drone community that have 107s don't even actually fly 107.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just doing it for extra.
I've always advocated for that. I said, why not be more professional, just like people who fly manned aircraft as a hobby? They don't haul people on a regular basis for money. They go out and fly because they enjoy flying their little Cessnas or Beech Nuts or whatever else they want to fly. But they had to go out and get certified.
Well, I'm saying if you're doing it as a hobby, my point is you're spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
You gotta have some money. You're gonna.
Yeah, like I say, it's going to be just like having a manned aircraft. It is I would say, well-to-do individual. I hate to use the word rich, but you got to have a few dollars to be able to buy a plane or build a plane and maintain a plane. at your little local airport and for you to go off and fly.
Oh yeah, plane hobby sure can get expensive, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Just about any hobby is gonna have a cost factor. I don't care if it's from golf to the planes, it adds up. From green fees to buying clubs and all that kind of stuff, because golf is just as bad. That's one of my hobbies is golfing. And you know, you always thinking every couple of years or whenever somebody puts out a new drive or new technology, everybody think about, well, I could have used that. I could get an extra 20, 30 yards on my drives. Is that a childproof cap kicking your butt, Joe? You're muted.
That's that pill I gotta give my dog.
Oh, okay. I thought the cap was kicking your behind, dude. I said, hey, just push down and turn.
So it's supposed to be 60 pills, right? I got 62.
Oh, those are for you to try before you give
I
to
was
the
about
dog.
to say they gave you a couple trial shots for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the pill's about freaking that big, right? But I got to break it down in three. It got little slits in it. It's got to give a third of the pill every day.
Yeah, watch
as
out.
long as she's
Somebody think you're
alive.
dealing crack cocaine.
But it's $60 for 90 days worth, and it's because she's got a heart murmur and she's getting a little bit enlarged heart. That's for the heart.
Yeah. Somebody help Paul out.
Yeah, wake him up.
Were you out early this morning, Paul? Flying ships?
No, there's nothing out on the water.
Okay.
Keep it up.
I was going to ask Lance, are you still attaching your Insta360 to the drone?
I am not as often, but I do every once in a while.
Okay.
You know, I want to do a power loop with the Avata 2, but I did a roll, and you guys may have seen that video where it rolled, but it rolled right into the grass. You know,
Yeah, I was thinking that's just a lot of extra weight. That thing to roll over adds a lot more G-force coming back to horizon level. It's going to push it down really hard.
Yeah. Yep. So I might try a roll a little higher. I was probably 10, 12 feet off the ground when I did that roll, and it just, it just wasn't strong enough to stay up.
Yeah.
That ain't covering nothing.
So I might go a little higher and then make sure I pull the sticks up on the roll, see what happens.
Yeah. I went and got the 9-foot extension pole, selfie stick, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So I got the standard 3 feet, whatever it is, pole, and I got the 9-foot pole.
Are you still sticking to that story? That's what you bought?
Yeah.
And that's what you received?
Oh, this time I did get the extension pole this time. I can say, Justin, I would not have been upset if it be another package, creator package.
Are you gonna try to put one on your drone, Dre? You gonna attempt?
No, I don't want to risk it. Because like I said, I understand the flight dynamics of our drones. And unless you have something that is very powerful, like what happened to you, you're risking the chance of a flight malfunction because of this. It's out of balance.
Yeah.
That 360, it's not a lot of weight, but it could be enough weight when you're flipping or even doing a hard bank turn. It's enough to cause that drone to go past that 45-degree angle. And once it tilts that far, you're going down.
Yeah, and with every new iteration of the Insta360, they get a little heavier. And mine's about as light as, I'm sure the Insta 1 is a little lighter, but the camera is much poorer than what I have. So.
Yeah, so that's my thing. It's just not worth the risk, because like I said, I understand the weight dynamics and then the G force that are created even for a drone at that size of having that weight that's out of balance. You trying to do something very aggressive, and the drone motors can't compensate fast enough is what it is. They just can't compensate fast enough. Now put it on something like a M300, 350, yeah, but that means I may not have a camera payload on it, a regular payload. It'd be just a 360 because now you're talking about that 360 being there in place of the regular camera.
Yeah.
Because they attach separately. So now you have a chance to balance out that weight factor.
I think Paul fell asleep.
No, I didn't.
You just don't want us to see you falling asleep.
Well, no, I find it interesting that it puts my what I say up on the screen, even though all I did was turn the camera off. And that's what Justin's been sitting there talking all morning, and his camera's off.
Oh, are you talking about you had closed captions set on or something?
I don't know. I don't know what the setting is, but it's different, because usually it puts like a back screen on whatever, but it doesn't.
Hmm.
That's my big complaint, Dre, is they keep changing these programs almost every other day.
What does that have to do with my camera being off?
Yep.
Yeah, because I know Zoom had an update. I know mine updated yesterday or day before.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And now even when I come into your show, it loads quicker.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Paul says his words are coming up on the screen with his camera off. So apparently he has closed captions set on his computer. That's why it's showing.
Well,
No,
he might have it in his Zoom where closed caption is coming on. So when he speaks, he gets the closed caption thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can
It's
turn
not
that
happening
off.
to nobody else.
You can turn that off yourself.
Yeah. Well, I was going to tell him that we can go to the settings.
No, he's just pressing buttons.
Caption is off. And that's about it. Well, my boss right above me resigned last week. Today's his last official day.
It means you're moving up, huh?
Well, you never know. Because now
Moving
last
on up.
night the city council approved our new budget, and they announced that they're going to have we call O&M, which is basically operation and maintenance. They're going to create its own division away from public works itself. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but it does create a director position, and I guess they're talking about 2 superintendent positions. So I may apply for one of the 3 slots, unless they have somebody already slated that want to make director. But I'm sure I could qualify to be a superintendent. And I could use an extra kick in my retirement before I get out of here. Because how that works is whatever your highest level of income is what your retirement is based upon. Not about your tenure, but any amount, the highest amount that you made at any time of your years here.
Ours is average of the last 3 years, Dre. So
yeah, some places do that.
Yeah,
where you have to, they go by the last couple of years, how they do your retirement. Ours is the highest you made it any single year.
I forgot to give yours.
So like I said,
Dre gets like one of the highest positions in the city and then quits the next day. Yeah, I'm retired.
Yep, that'll be it. That's why I'm looking. I say, hey, y'all make me superintendent. I'll sit here. I said, let me do at least a year. And I said, I'll make sure, because at that level, you have a contract, you're at will employee. And I simply say, hey, y'all want to fire me or whatever, I'll just retire. If it's before my regular 20 years, I'll just retire. So it's going to be another, I say, revolving door situation that we have to deal with. We'll have potentially new people come in, We're getting a new city manager officially. We have gone through in the last 10 years, I would say we've gone through at least 12 city managers.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And the same thing, we've had at least 6 to 8 different police chiefs. We've had at least a dozen so public work directors. It's like a revolving door, man. It's just crazy.
Well, that just goes to show you something at the top, so something funny's going on. Where
Well,
these people are coming in and then they're like, oh hell no,
Yeah.
and they're leaving.
It's the political turmoil that we go through here, and the sad thing is, the people they have been hiring have had questionable track records, where they have had been terminated or asked to leave from other places. I mean, basically things you would call red flags. And then I said, why are you people hiring these folks? When you press the public officials, or elected officials, I should say, they said, well, these are the only folks that are applying for the job. I said, that's why you got to promote up sometimes. Find the people in your staff that you can promote up and see how they can handle it. Because these knuckleheads you hiring are just coming here with their nonsense and corruption. Like the guy they just got rid of a while back, he had been fired from 3 different other cities and was getting sued by 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I said, this is the guy you're going to hire?
Shoot, I'm gonna tell my son to apply out there. He
Doing
get
the
a
same
job right away.
shenanigans here within 6 months, and then that guy get rid of it. But then they got to pay him out because that's in his contract.
I'm telling you, Joe, there's a hiring bonus to come up here to Seattle. Did I ever tell you that?
Yeah, but he can get a job around Dre, and they don't want to do it back. They don't care how bad he is.
Yeah, look who they're hiring for the city.
Dude, my daughter probably get a job out there. What are you talking about? Make her city manager.
It's
Yeah, but
frustrating.
see-
I mean, like I say, and how that affects the rest of the employees is simply this. I mean, you get new directors, new managers, then the employees got to start learning a whole new system according to whoever the manager or director is. And I say on our average, it's like 18 months. So every 18 months, you're changing over how you do business, how you're doing things in your department to suit the new leadership that's in your department. So how do you become proficient in what you do if what you're doing changes so often? And like I said, people want to point fingers at the employees as if the employees are incompetent. I said, no, I'm continuing learning how to redo my job.
Yeah, because every boss wants the shit done different.
Right. That's natural. Everybody wants to come in and bring what they did before to where the new spot is, because now that makes them comfortable. And when you talk about city manager levels, they usually bring a couple of their buddies to be new directors in other departments. So it ain't just the one guy. It's usually, the city manager get here, the next thing you know, other folks leave, and then he brings in his buddies.
Yeah, there was like a good year where we had like 4 or 5 different store managers at Walmart because they were trying to find a permanent person to take the position. And that was, oh my God, such a pain in the ass. Every 2-3 months we had somebody new come in.
Yeah, and then they think things should be done a different way, and they always had the same story. Well, this will make us more efficient. This will make us work better. It'll make it better for the employee. The employee says, I'm already used to doing what I was doing. We were already fairly efficient in what we did, and now we got to switch it all up again.
Trying to figure out what's going on here. Fire
They're
trucks.
looking for you, Paul.
The 4 firemen are over there looking in the water. These people are looking out in the water.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, somebody done fell in.
Suburban usually out here, and he's not here, and we think he might have fell in.
They're looking for somebody in the water.
Take the
Oh, they
drone
could
up,
ta-
Paul. Take the drone up. Fly over the water. Help them out.
Yeah, right.
Hey, I got some breaking news here. Serious breaking news. The package is supposed to be out for delivery today.
Oh, I thought you talking about something with the White House. I'm about to get on my computer and say, okay, let me change it. See what's
Yeah,
up.
it's been in Port Charlotte for how many days? Since the 28th. It says out for delivery.
The V-copter. V-copter.
No, that's the thing I sent Brenda.
You sent Brenda your V-copter. Good for you.
I tell you, they said it was going to be shipped in June. I'm going to call them up and tell them I want my money back. I haven't got it yet.
How dare you get Dre excited like that, Joe?
What the heck? I said, let me switch over here. See what's going on.
Breaking news.
I can
Believe
just
me,
see
that's
you now.
breaking news.
I can just see him now. Just when he gets the Amazon package, he gets that notice. Oh, your package is only 5 stops away.
Yeah. Didn't tell you you're in New Orleans and the other one's in Utah.
Yeah, I said he be outside in the front porch looking for the truck.
Hey, remember when Katrina hit? I was in Alexandria, and the company I was working for at the time called me up and said, "We need you to get back home and take some pictures. We got some cameras coming to you. We're sending you a whole new set of cameras because we don't know if you have them with you or what because we know you're not home." I said, "I've got them." He said, "It's coming tomorrow. When you get them, the next day, go try to get some pictures in New Orleans area." I said, "Sure." So I'm out there waiting for the truck to come, right? Because they said it's right there. And I'm at the hotel. I'm walking around at the hotel and I'm looking for the truck. And I see the UPS truck coming down the road. And I tripped over the curb, fell down, broke my glasses, split my eye open.
Oh, wow.
I said, "You got to be kidding me." I went in there and I cleaned it off. I put some tape on it to hold it in place. Went and got I called the Red Cross. I told the Red Cross, "Hey man, I got injured. This Katrina, I'm on all this stuff." They got me a new pair of glasses. I went to the VA Medical Center and they checked my eye and said, "You don't need to do nothing. The little strips you put on there held it." But if I wouldn't have stripped it, they'd had to stitch it. But and then I went out there and found out why I tripped. The curb where I was walking over the curb had a big hole in it right there, and I didn't see it.
That's where Joe got all his cameras from. They were like, "Hey, do you got those cameras from Katrina?" Yeah, they didn't make it.
Yeah, I don't have those anymore. I sold those. Everything I got now is only about 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years, actually 9 years old.
So that's just the fog of a natural disaster.
Yeah, it's time to upgrade, but I'm at the point where as long as they're getting the same pictures, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, like I say, you always got to, balance out what are you upgrading for? Is it just for one little gadget feature? Is it really going to make a difference in the quality?
I'll tell you the one thing it will make a difference in is because when I'm shooting the sports at night in that low light, sometimes it'll focus and you lose your focus a little bit. And I don't shoot burst. That's my problem. If I shot burst, I wouldn't have a problem. But I'll shoot. And what's happening is I'm making it reevaluate the shot all the time. So I'll get 2 or 3 good shots and then one will be a little out of focus, but I don't need it. I don't need the shot. The new ones come out and the autofocus is so good on them that it can, if you had a dog in the picture, it would pick up the dog's eye and then it look for the human's eye too. It's just the way it's made. It's so much difference in the light. But the problem is that just the body is $7,000.
Be right back, guys.
And then my lenses don't fit it.
So that means you got to redo all the lenses to match the body.
Yeah, I went in when we started dealing with the Marine Corps with all this. I went in and did just a little arbitrary check on buying everything I would need to see what it would cost me. And I said, "Oh hell, mine are good," because it was like $28,000.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, because you like me with the cameras. With the cameras, am I going to make the money back?
Yep. That's it.
And I'm thinking $28,000. That's like 5 years or 3 years, actually, before I make a profit.
Mhm.
Oh
The
my
money I make on
God.
photography.
This dude's got to be full of shit. Look at that link in
I'm not
the
full of
chat
shit.
there,
What are you
Jerry,
talking about?
and tell me if you think that's even remotely true.
Justin, you say I'm full of shit? Oh, that guy.
This guy here, he's from Indiana Drones. Yeah, he's put out a lot of videos. So
He said he made
$45,000.
$45,000 off of one mapping job. The fuck was he mapping?
I don't know.
United
Like I
States?
say, that's extreme. Like I said, I don't like calling nobody liars. Like I said, I don't know who he was dealing with, what the circumstances is, but yeah, that's extreme. But he's been around for a while.
He mapped Australia. What you talking about? Look like Australia on the
Yeah,
like
like I
Australia.
say,
I don't know. It just seemed kind of like a
using
clickbaity
LiDAR.
video.
Yeah, he's using LiDAR on that M300.
To me,
Look at
that
this. He
seemed
got
clickbaity, like he was just trying to get people to click on his channel.
Yeah, primarily. I mean, I had people that was trying to say, I told them I can easily make. I was doing really good last summer, and there were some days, like on a Saturday, I was making $2,000 in a day. It's different jobs. I had like maybe 4 jobs, and that was the extent of a combination of all those jobs added up. Because I think I made one video. I said I made $1,000 in 2 hours. My guy said, "Oh, it's fucking cool." I said, "Dude, you get into mapping, you can do it." I guess I had a couple jobs, $500 a pop, 2 jobs.
No, yeah, see, that seems more realistic.
Yeah,
But to say you pretty much that guy was claiming he did one video shoot doing some mapping,
right,
and then made $45,000. It wasn't. He wasn't saying he did a bunch of jobs in 48 hours.
yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, he's saying it took him 48 hours to do that flight and edit it and everything and put it out. I don't know. That seems like a lot of money.
Yeah.
he even had Seth Green on that video, cha-chinging.
Like I said, he did in 2 days what it took me all year to do last year.
You saw that, huh, Justin? In the middle of that video, he had Seth Green doing cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been around for a minute. Him and the guys that do the videos for Drone Life, they've been around for a while. And like I tell a lot of folks, I mean, those days, unless you're in a specific industry, the money is just not there as readily as it used to be.
Well, there's a lot more people getting into it.
Well,
now,
that's what I'm saying. The competition is out there, and like any other industry, everybody wants to get the same service at a cheaper cost, and that's why my thing was about people getting Part 107s. I say, hey, if we become more professional, then we can demand the higher wages for what we do. Because everybody said, well, hey, you got to hire a professional pilot. And that way you eliminate all this other stuff that, even if a guy isn't a regular commercial pilot, he would still be a Part 107 pilot, which will allow him to do any type of, compensated work. Just like I go out to the airport and I ask a guy, hey, can you fly me from San Bernardino to Bakersfield? And he said, yeah, I can do it. He's a licensed pilot. He's just giving me a ride. Just like folks used to do before Uber showed up. Just give me a ride up here. I'll pay you a couple $100 for gas and for your time.
Do you think it's going to get to a point though where you're going to have a reason to be flying? You can't just say you're wanting to fly a bridge or whatever for fun or whatever.
I think it's going to get to that level, just like with manned aircraft. Guys go out and they have to file a flight plan, even though they're going up for this fun. They have to file a flight plan with the whoever the controlling tower is for that area. And I think and that's why my whole thing goes back to people going to get their Part 107s. I think they're going to start saying the recreational pilot status just no longer exists. You need
Well,
to
my
be
thing
part-
is too, is it gonna go to a point to where, like, say Joe's 107, he wants to go out and fly a bridge just to throw on YouTube.
right.
Are they gonna say, no, you have to have a reason to be flying that bridge, like an inspection report or something? Or
No,
paperwork?
I don't think it's going to get to that level, but I think
Okay.
it's going to be required that whoever's flying is going to need more than just a trust test. I think they're going
All right.
everybody's got to have some type of Part 107 level of certification at some point.
All right.
Like I say, if you raise the level of expertise, then you get more of the confidence of the public in what you do. And then like everybody else, everybody expects you to be at a certain level because they know it's a requirement. You know, it's just like any industry. I mean, you talk about construction. We expect everybody on a construction job, you are a concrete layer, carpenter, or whatever you're doing, drywall, whatever, we expect you to have a certain level of competency in what you do. You know, my job as an inspector is not to see how great of your craftsmanship is, but to make sure you meet the minimum standards of what's expected for whatever you're doing. Just like, you know, you're concrete. If I wanted to be a real stickler for concrete, I can have them guys do a slump test, which is basically it's a little cylinder type thing, and I'll take some mud right out of the truck, set it on the side, and see how long it takes to do this and all that kind of stuff to make sure it passes the slump test. If it doesn't, I know that pour is not gonna last, because the standard cure time for concrete is 28 days. But I can tell by the day the pour is made, if it's not the right mix, it ain't gonna make it to 28 days. It's gonna crack, and it's not gonna have the tensile strength that it's supposed to have. So those are issues and stuff. And just like if you do carpentry work or roofing work from the framing, about your joist and all this kind of stuff, I say, hey, dude, if you're not using the right size nails, you're not make sure this and that's done, we're gonna have a problem, because that means the frame is not gonna be able to hold the weight of the rest of the roofing material. So there has to be a certain level of competency associated with the work that you do. And I say the same thing is going to happen with drones eventually, as the regulations and everything else that are coming about, and everybody wants to get, you know, all butt hurt and stuff, talking about, I just want to go out and have fun, this and I said, dude, everybody wants to go out and not be bothered, but you got to realize you are operating in official airspace. And that's what people fail to grasp. You're flying in official airspace. So there has to be a certain level of competency that comes with you operating an aircraft, which is what we're classified as our drones as, aircraft in the national airspace. The only way you can get around that, you start having people build buildings or take old warehouses and gut them out and let people fly indoors. And like I say, some of the biggest complainers, not that I don't have anything against FPV pilots, but they're one of the main ones who complain about everything. And they say, I just want to go out. And I said, no one has a problem with FPV drones. It's the behavior of the pilots. Because most of the time, these pilots do things that contribute to other unlawful acts, not just FAA rule breakers, but now they're going to people's private property. You know, they say, oh, I'm flying a Bando. Well, guess what? Somebody still owns that property. Regardless if it's occupied or operational, somebody still owns that property. So now you're trespassing somebody's property.
Then that comes to the debate, is it really abandoned?
Yeah. It
Because
might,
if it's truly abandoned, then nobody would own
there you go. If it's
it.
truly abandoned, no one would own it. There would be no consequences. Like I said, as soon as somebody gets hurt, what happens? Everybody's getting sued.
But there is always somebody that owns the property, whether it's a state,
That's right.
a local county, a city, or
Mhm.
it could be a family that's just been sitting on a piece of property for 40
Right.
years and never did nothing with it.
Yeah, 100%.
That's like in the middle of New Orleans Charity Hospital. That thing's been abandoned since Katrina, right?
Mhm.
They closed it down, and they just closed it down. Two people out and left it, and they've got no power running to it. Ready for this? No power running to it. They've cut the power off, and arbitrarily a light will go on in different areas, and they don't know why. They've gone in and double checked things, and there's no reason the light should be coming on. There's no power. They don't know if people are getting in there, and that's what they're seeing and everything. But you see, that place had so many people for so many years dying in that place. Ain't nowhere in hell you'd see me in it. Plus the fact that now they're talking about selling it. A couple of people have come in and they want to clean it out and renovate it and make apartments. Oh, hell no.
Why don't you want it? Cleaned
Because
up,
it was a
renovated?
hospital, and all the people all the different things they used to do, the experiments they used to do down in the basement.
Oh, come on, Joe. I'd take an apartment down in the fucking basement.
Oh, hell no. I'm not about that.
Dude,
I
I
didn't
wouldn't
want to
even
go
give a
in and
shit.
drop patients off. What you talking about?
Yeah.
Do you know how many houses I've been in that people claimed were haunted and I never saw anything?
Yeah.
Not a single fucking thing.
But like I said before, I mean, it's just like I tell people about, I still to this day deal with the homeless population. And I tell people, I said, no one is against people that are homeless. It's the behavior associated with those who are homeless that gets people upset.
They need to open
homeless encampments, all that kind of stuff, and they got trash strewn everywhere.
they
And
need
I
to
always
do
tell
is
Chris, I said,
open mental wards again.
yeah, well, there are some that's where they need to be at, but there are others
lot of
who
them.
make a decision or who have made decisions in life that has placed them there. But my thing is, if that's what you want to do, I don't have no problem with that's what you want to do. But your behavior is the problem. When you up here got this trash all over the places, now you're on other people's property, setting up tents and other nonsense is going on. And they always think like, well, I'm not bothering nobody. Yes, you are. You're on somebody else's property. You're on the city's property. You're on the county's property. You're on state property. You're on federal land. You're on private property. Because they love to go down in flood control areas, and then they worry about why they need to be rescued when it rains.
Well, and it's like most homeless people aren't respectful of businesses either.
Right.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay to sleep there. I would say it's fine to sleep there at nighttime, but when the business comes and opens up in the morning, you should get up and leave. But they don't. They'll still sit there and continue to sleep right by their front door.
Yeah, and I say, and the theory behind that is they sleep there in the daytime because that's the safest time to sleep. Because at night they got to be on their toes. So most of them are up all night long trying to protect themselves, and they sleep in the daytime.
Hey, Dre, this would be me in one of those apartments. Watch. This would be me in one of those apartments.
Shut up, Don.
He's a fascist.
I know, states shouldn't have property. If the federal government, the states, and the local municipalities,
But y'all didn't see it?
a
Hold
lot
on.
of stuff would not be taken care of.
Okay, here you go. This would be me in one of those apartments.
I saw this video.
Hell no, got me fucked
Yep,
up.
there you go.
I'm black. Mississippi, baby, nigga, God. Where you going?
He said, "Oh no, you got me fucked up."
Come out.
881 billion.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
148. If we can help with anything else, please do not hesitate in contacting us. Kind regards.
Back to your original question, Justin. I foresee this coming down the pipe probably in the next 10 years to where it's going to be at the point where if you want to fly drones, you need to probably have more credentials than what we're asking for today.
Well, they just said FedEx. Yeah. They told me it was coming DPD. Yeah. Yes. I'm not even here yet.
In my personal opinion, I think it will only make the use of drones more professional, which means it will make it more profitable to operate a business. And if you want to do it just for fun, it makes you less likely to have encounters with people, because then they would know that if you're out here flying that drone, you have a certain level of competency with that drone.
Dude, that's just, oh, dude, that word that's one of those words now that it's lost all its meaning because it's been overused so much. Everybody's a fascist these days. Call everybody that.
Like I said, with FPV guys, they tell themselves so much. They talking about, oh, I'm gonna get 1 or 2 packs in before the security guard shows up. I said, what are you telling me? You already knowingly know you are in violation because you're trying to do something before the security guard shows up.
And that was kind of the stigma around that community that they kind of created for themselves, as being kind of the pirates of the drone community, right?
Yeah, that's just my whole point. It was that thrill of being able to do something on the lightweight, legality area and stuff. They say, oh yeah, just like, and that's what I associate himself with skateboarders. When skateboarding was being, banned years ago, nobody wanted skateboarding, but now they got public parks with skateboarding areas in it. So it's this is one of the things that will evolve eventually on one side or the other. That's why I said, if the government is the one that's going to make it evolve, they're going to make sure either you meet a certain level of criteria, or they're going to provide a contained, controlled atmosphere, just like they did with skateboarders. You can go to most of your public parks now, and you'll see skateboarding ramps and poles and benches to grind on and all this kind of stuff, and bowls to do whatever in the public parks. So that way you keep the skateboarders off the business areas and places like that upsets the business owners and all that kind of stuff.
I ain't seen nobody in any park grinding. I go looking, but I don't see it.
Donald sounds like one of those protesters. You're a
I think I'm gonna
neo-Nazi
get that hardest
fascist.
flight in today.
Emergency department discharge summary. Your above named patient
Hey,
attended.
hey, Loki,
Attended. On the 1st of June 2025.
you did a good job.
Tendencies.
You did a good job.
Attendance in the actions for GP.
You did your job.
Patient PR bleed chief complaint. Constipation history of presenting complaint.
You did your job.
Last 7 days.
Good boy.
What's up, Jody?
Water hose in
Lahana.
Mental health has tried all sorts of laxatives, however, not helping denies any abdominal pain. Vomiting can pass laxatives. Patent talking beam. DL equal chest movements. E, A, E, 16. No anecdote. Good skin color. Well confused.
Whose video is this?
Lance.
Yeah.
15. SMT plus PS present. No impacted stool. No bleeding X-ray. Constipation with no bowel dilatation. Page 1 second.
That's where that's in Maui, where they had all that burnt property. That's that banyan tree that didn't burn.
Hawaii.
Yeah. That's Maui.
Mm-hmm.
Lahana Town. See,
as
I
bad
knew
as
you
that
could see. I knew you could see that over there.
as bad as that disaster was, that was one that like came and then people talked about it and then it just kind of fell off and nobody has really spoke about it.
Yeah, you see that right there? All of that right there used to be businesses just like that in front of that tree.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. I've been there once. One day I was there. Yeah, my mother came to Hawaii and visit us with my cousin and I think it was my brother and my sister. And we needed to go to Maui because my mother wanted to buy a Maui diamond. So we went over there and you go to the different jewelry stores and all they are is an odd shaped cubic zirconia type. And then they measure your finger and make your ring for you while you're there. And she paid $300 or $400 for a ring she wore 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Because it was about as ugly as you can get.
But that's what's scary about LA too, is because of what happened to Maui, you know, that one fire expert that was on Joe Rogan was talking about how they've done studies on that and man, they said that city could go up like a tinderbox in the right conditions.
Well, LA,
Yeah.
yeah, like a lot of old buildings.
Yeah.
They're not up to current code standards, but they're all grandfathered in because they're, people can't afford to rebuild them.
Oh, and then he was talking about how if you had the right like forest fire going or you know and the wind caught it a certain direction, it would be really bad for the city.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's like French Quarter in New Orleans. Well, every once in a while they have a fire in the French Quarter. It's an 8-9 alarm fire.
Yeah.
You got 30, 40 fire trucks showing up. Every fire truck that's available gets in there. They'll get between. They've got devices they've made here that they go because the buildings are so close together.
Mm-hmm.
They get in between these buildings with these water walls they call them, and they shoot water straight up.
Mm.
And the water goes up about 50 feet in the air, 60 feet in the air, straight up, so that they can try to stop the fire from going across.
Right, like a sprinkler
And it
system.
usually works. So they
Yeah.
know they know what they're doing, and then the buildings like 2 or 3 around, all they're doing is soaking them down.
Well, and some of your older buildings are kind of all just one big building, aren't
Well,
they?
they all have what we call community walls. They're attached by one wall to another.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Yep. And that's why we had this. I don't know if you guys have heard. We've had these rash of jewelry store robberies. We've had about 4 of them that have happened to these mom and pop jewelry stores, and they've been getting cleaned out. So they know it's a professional crew, and each one almost has the same MO. They go into the store next door, sneak in there, and they're in there for like 3 or 4 hours. They cut out through the common wall next door, and they know exactly where the safe is at against that common wall. And they go in, cut a hole in the wall, cut a hole in the safe, and clean the safe out.
Wow.
3 robberies within the last 3 months.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, professional crew, big time. And one guy, I don't know, you always think what people are thinking. He had $3 million in cash in his safe. That was his retirement money. Gone.
To be honest, I would say he's kind of stupid for keeping that much money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why would
Because
I say none of these owners had insurance because they couldn't afford it?
Well, shoot, let me get the money out my safe then and put it in the bank.
Yeah.
I'm saying you don't even have to put it in a bank account. Just go and put it in a safety deposit box and get that's insured.
Yeah.
You know, that you can get insurance on for if somebody does break in the bank, your shit's covered.
Mm-hmm.
If you got $3 million, there should be no reason you can't afford a little bit of insurance on it.
Well, you got a point.
Well, I say having insurance on jewelry is quite a bit of cash. Because a lot of these guys are stuck because a lot of stuff they have from customers, now they have to personally pay out the customers.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, the money I keep in the safe's fireproof, but I also have it in a fireproof pouch. So that if something happened where it did get compromised, I still have a
Mhm.
fireproof pouch. And I don't keep a lot, but I keep enough here in case I need it in an emergency.
Yeah, no matter how good a safe is, man, there's always somebody out there who knows how to get into it.
Yep.
I mean, like I said, like you ever watch a YouTube channel, Lock Picking Lawyer? That dude is fucking amazing, dude. And whether it comes to a safe, just a standard padlock, it don't matter. This dude will get into it and get into it really quick, and he'll show you exactly how he does it. And I
Well,
don't
it's
know how
like
many locks people sent him that said, "Oh, this company said it was unpickable," and he just right open.
There's a movie on what, Netflix or Prime about a guy like that, and he joined this. Look, ended up getting approached by this one gang, and all it was that he had studied ever since he was a little boy about these master safes that was made by somebody years and years ago, and he made three of them, and they were owned by some of the most secure brokerage houses or stuff like that, and they would find a way to get inside past security so he could get in to unlock these safes. It's a good little movie.
Yeah, this is the
so.
guy's video here, our channel here. But this dude is really good.
Well, did you ever see the episode with Andy Griffith where the people come in posing as FBI and they're going to give them an award? And they got Barney all enthused about getting this award for being a top sheriff in the city, in the area, and all of this. And they take a picture with the FBI agent, and that's what was a trigger with, because back then the FBI didn't want their pictures taken. And Andy figures it out. So they figure it's got to be something to do with the bank, and they're gonna rob the bank. So the main guy is taking the pictures. The guy's a safecracker. So he goes over there, and while they're giving the award out to Barney, Andy leaves, right? And he breaks in and he gets there and he gets it, opens it up, walks in there, and when he gets in there and looks up, Andy's sitting in there on a chair inside the safe, right? And and the guy just looks at Andy and he puts him in handcuffs and everything. And he says, well, how did you get in here like this? He says, well, we want to thank you. He said, we've been trying to get that safe open for the last 10 years. We lost the combination. He says, so we cut a hole back in the door where the door's at right here where we could just walk in and out like this. And then he arrested him. He said, the reason and he says, well, how did you know we weren't FBI? He said, because you took a picture with the FBI agent. They don't like their pictures taken. But he was sitting there waiting for him.
Listening and waiting.
And he thanked him for getting the combination for the safe.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was pretty old though, right?
Yeah, that's old Andy Griffith show. Yeah, my favorite episode is when Ernest T. Bass would come on. Come on in. He said, you're going to go get him one gold tooth. And you see, if I said Ernest T. Bass said he wanted a mouthful of gold teeth. Give 15 seconds, Don will be on. He said, why you do that to him? I might be able to get a flight in today. I got to go look at the outside. I mean, there's no wind, and I got my 100th flight of my Avata 2. So I'm trying to make it special. Might go over to the fishing pier and fly all through it.
Go bump off about 6 poles. That'd make it special.
So what I ought to do is fly through the tugboat today at 100 flight.
There you go. The hell with them wires hanging down. Just fly through there. You can do it.
Well, you can fly through there. That's just the only reason I haven't flown through there is every time I'm out there, it's too windy.
Today's the day.
Joe, you know how you get Donald on the panel, right? You tell them The Hobbit was just, it was inspired by Star Trek.
Well, look, he said one go to, you know, the two, see, he's got it sparkles while the others dancing. Well, he's dancing. See, I knew he'd come on.
See, like I said, if Donald knew anything about movies, he would know The Hobbit was inspired by Star Trek.
Yep. See, it didn't take long for him to get in the chat and say something about the one gold tooth. So it sparkles while I'm dancing. That'd be a good idea, flying through the tugboat for the 100th flight of the Avata 2. Tell you what, I'll take the Neo out there and tell everybody it was the Avata 2. So,
What's up, JD?
so if it's the water, I don't care. JDS. When you going to fly, Paul?
What's wrong with you, Tyson?
Nothing going on.
Where's your baby at? I'll find your baby.
Well, I gave her pill and it's been almost an hour. And it doesn't look like it's affecting her like stomach wise, so that's a good thing.
There's a ship that just left the Sarnia Harbor.
It's
That's
foggy
south
out
of
there
me.
getting it there.
That's downtown.
How far is that from you?
About 5-7 miles. Because if you go behind that ship about 5 to 6 miles is where I am. And there's a tugboat that helped them get out.
Hey, Justin, you still got all your fake accounts?
Well, you need some subs?
Yeah, I'm at 1999.
Oh, you're sitting at 1999?
Yeah.
Oh, I went to subscribe on my other account and I'm already subscribed on both. I tried. Got 2K. Says 2K subscribers.
Is that right?
Yeah, I made some calls. Don't worry about it. Big deal.
He knows the guy.
I said, he knows the guy who knows the guy. It still says 1999 on my end. I don't know.
Yeah, when I was on this at 2000.
Mm.
Let me look on YouTube real quick.
I know Justin being king of the shorts, he got a whole army.
Let's see here. It says 1.99.
Yeah.
So somebody just, I bet some ass in the chat just unsubscribed. Just take him down a peg. He's like, he ain't about to get all cocky. They don't want you to hit that 2K, Dre, because that's when the Ferraris come, the limousines come, you know.
Is that right?
When all them doors start opening up, all them YouTube doors. They offer you a 401k and you get medical insurance. Become an employee at that point.
Mm.
Hey, Paul, Sonia Harbor, that's by Centennial Park area?
Yeah,
Okay, you still can't measure. 1.66 miles.
Can I help you, dude? Huh? What? Go
Even
find your,
from your house, it's 2.68 miles.
go find Aubrey. Go find your baby. Are you mad because she ain't spending all her
2.75
time with
max.
you? Yeah. She's not spending all her time with you? You don't like it? Nice enough for her. Good boy. Yeah. Oh yeah. You also get the key to the executive washroom. That's right, JDS. Forgot
Yeah,
about
I
that.
need to get a better washroom situation. I'm right across the restroom is right across from my office, and that's why I got to keep my door closed most of the time because these guys be blowing it up.
Once we can do the verification on your channel, I'll shoot you a copy of that key over.
Yeah.
Now we got to go through the things. You can't talk about certain things in front of the lower channels. Okay.
So
How many
that
views you
way
up to now?
that way I can hang out with Matt and give him a hard time still.
He got in more of a Special Olympics type thing.
Special Olympics.
Yeah. It's more of like a handout, make a wish, that kind of thing.
Right. I just hit 801.
See how many views you're up to now. 308,173 views Stray's up to.
Isn't anymore.
It's tough getting subscribers now in the drone community because it ain't like it used to be. You pick up a few more after each new drone release. You get all the newbies. I saw that was Tim on last night or yesterday?
He was in the chat.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw his name.
He's getting a new Starlink system because his took a shit on him. And Starlink offered to upgrade him to the Gen 3 system, which I think he was on the first gen or second gen. I think he was the first gen. So he's getting the latest equipment and he doesn't have to pay for it. And they're paying to have the old equipment shipped back. So
okay, that's a win-win.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like I had an issue with my solar panels, and I'm going back and forth with Tesla about it because I see mine are leased, but they're responsible for if the equipment fails, they're supposed to compensate me. So I'm gonna hold them to that. I'm like, hey, one of your inverters have been, and it's the main inverter has gone out. I can't even tell when it went out because they give you a little monitor box that you hook to your Wi-Fi system and everything. It's supposed to be keeping track of everything. I said, it's been showing green lights. It didn't even show me the inverter was out. And you guys didn't know either because this is how you get your information off of this device.
Well, you need to see too if maybe they got a new updated device.
Well, I'm gonna
You
do
might
all
have a
that.
lot
See
older
what's
one,
up,
yeah.
because I'm like, my whole thing is, I said, you guys didn't even know the inverter was out, and I didn't even pay much attention. I didn't know either. But when I started coming to pay my annual bill, I'm like, I'm paying twice as much than I paid the year before. I'm like, what's going on? And I go out to the side of the house and I see the inverters give me a big old giant error. It's got a red light on. I'm like, dude, how long has this been going on?
Right. Well, and it's one of those devices that you don't check on a daily, so you don't think
No.
about it, right?
Well, that's what the whole
Yeah.
monitoring device is for. I
Yeah.
can, mine's in the garage where the hub is at and everything. So I mean, I just glance right over and I see all green lights.
Yeah.
No big deal. So you don't think much about it. Like I say, you don't think about walking on the side of the house to go check what the inverter screen says. If you're getting all green lights, if I was getting like a
No,
red,
that's one of those things that whenever you happen to be walking on the side of the yard, you take a peek. Like,
yeah,
yeah, working. That
yeah,
might be every few months.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. It might be every 3-4 months, because like I said, I got the monitor in the garage, and that's how I keep track of what's going on. And if I'm getting a red light, then I'll make an effort to actually go on the side of the house and look at the inverter and see what it's doing.
So your panels are Tesla?
Well, Tesla bought out the company. Mine were originally Sun City, and then Tesla bought out Sun City years ago.
But they have to honor the leases that they had, right?
Right.
The previous company had.
Yeah, because I said my the smaller inverter went out might be about a year ago, maybe 2.5 years. And so I have one Tesla inverter, and I have the old, I guess it's called Fortius is the other brand. And so they're going to bring me another Tesla inverter. So I was asking the guy, because he was saying that I should be put on one larger inverter instead of having two like I have now. And I said, well, if that's the case, if you're going to cut me down on inverters, I was asking about a battery backup, but they talking about, you got to go to the sales department. The battery backup costs another $2,000. I'm like, nah.
Now, how long would that run your house for, though?
Well, that's what I'm saying. How many battery backups would I need to power
And
my house?
is your solar panels strong enough that if the power goes out, they can't run your house during the day, right?
Well, the amount of panels I have, it should be able to run the house for 24 hours, I'm thinking. But like I said, I need them to evaluate the panel, because the panels are.
I mean, that's not bad, though. A couple grand, if that's what kind of security it gives you, I guess.
Well, like I said, that's why I didn't look at it. Like I said, all this is all done through their little IA chat thing that I'm talking to. I need to
Because I
talk
would
to somebody
expect that
directly.
thing to be like 10 grand easy.
Right. I need to, talk to somebody, because they got to go back and evaluate my system and what it produces. And I said, dude, we need, this is my chance to actually get a battery backup. So
Actually,
that's why I was looking at it.
You actually might get lucky, Dre. They might just come in and just rip all your shit out, put all new stuff in.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I don't remember Tesla actually having solar panels that long ago. That's why I was asking. I was like,
Yeah. I said they bought out Sun City,
yeah,
who did mine. It's coming up on 15 years ago now. And that's why I say battery backups weren't even available back then when I had mine put on. So, and like I say, I would, this would be my opportunity. I was thinking, I said, if you guys are switching out equipment, why not, throw me a battery backup system?
When I was growing up, when I was a teenager, my friend's house out in Newberry, they lived like out in the middle of nowhere, like way out there.
Newberry is out in the middle of nowhere.
No, but it was like between Ludlow and Newberry.
That's extreme middle of nowhere.
And his dad had solar panels all over his house, his property.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a big battery bank of just car batteries that were, they were all like put in line or whatever you want to call it.
They were we call it wired in parallel.
Yeah, wired in parallel.
Yeah.
There was and he had probably a couple hundred car batteries.
Mm.
Like it was a big thing, but his whole house would run off of it.
Yeah. those were the I say the pioneering days. But then you needed space for all those batteries to go.
Oh, he had a shed that was just a battery bank.
Yeah.
And so car batteries, you'd have to replace them like every 5 years.
Mm-hmm. So like I say, you get the if I can get a power bank out of this, I would be very ecstatic.
That's
Even if
good.
I had to pay a little bit of money, but I say, hey, put it on the lease. I've been paying this lease, I say, for at least 15 years. Just add it on to the lease.
Well, you got to think too, Mark, right? If you just, as long as you're keeping up on your batteries real well, and keeping an eye on them, you can replace like 3 or 4 here, 4 or 5 here, where you wouldn't have to just constantly replace them in one big bulk,
Yeah, but lead acid batteries don't have the same kind of lifetime.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. If you kept an eye on them real well and just replaced a few here, a few there, it'd probably still be cheaper than what you pay for electric every year. I don't know.
Well, like I said, that old setup like your friend here, it's just a matter of where you store the batteries at. Now you got these power banks that slap right on the wall, very convenient.
Oh yeah, this was back in the mid '90s,
Yeah,
like
that's
where
what I'm
solar
saying. It's just
panels were very rare to see.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know where you would have bought solar panels from back then. Because like nowadays you can go on Amazon, you can purchase fucking solar panels.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I got a set of solar panels for my DJI 1000, and I got a solar panel for my Blue Eddy power thing. So like I say, and the only thing with the DJI 1000, it would take 6 panels for that thing to really recharge the Power 1000 in about I think they said with 6 panels it would charge it back up in about 2 or 3 hours. One panel would take it about 2 days.
Yeah, and that's if you're
wattage of the panel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you got to constantly go out and move the panels too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. For the optimum amount of energy you're trying to build up. Yep. So I like to feel I'm pretty much prepared if a natural disaster hit and the grid went down. We could make it for 24 to 48 hours.
How many panels can you do on that thing?
Daisy chain up to 6.
Oh man, I was like, man, you cut that down to 3 hours with 6, and if you were able to add like 2 more, you get it down to like an hour and 20.
Mm-hmm. But that's why I was so excited about when they came out with the Power 2000. So I had the 1000 and 2000. That'll get me through the first 24 hours right there. And I said I have
What's up, Corey?
The solar panel on top of that. Just I don't care if it's just a triple amount. At least I mean I could stretch that into about possibly 3 days. We could run the essentials in the house, refrigerator, stuff like that, a light, whatever.
So is your solar panels, or is that DJI power bank? Is that thing powerful enough to like run like a small air conditioning unit or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It just drain it faster. It has the capacity to run a refrigerator for 24 hours.
How do you like those solar panels, Dre?
I haven't used it yet, man. It's sitting in a box in my office.
Okay.
I haven't broke them out.
And Joe, do you have solar panels?
I have an actual solar panel for the DJI 1000, but I have solar panels on my house.
Oh, okay.
See what you should actually break them open, drain. Just get familiar with using them.
Yeah, I should. I might do it this summer since I bought them over the winter when I got the 1000.
Like
so I might
drain your battery pack down to a little bit, like 20%, and then go out there and practice using the panels.
Mm-hmm. I might do that.
Do you have 6 of them, or do you only
No,
have
I only
like
got
one or
one.
two?
Only
Uh,
bought one. Things are almost like $200 a pop.
Yeah, I
You're
remember
talking about the
when
one that DJI has, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's $200 a pop.
yep.
I think it's $200 a pop.
Yeah, Lance, you got that.
Capture Life, what's up?
So you would spend close to $1,200 trying to get a full set.
Yeah, I remember when Jason bought the Anchor, the
Mhm.
Anchor one, and he
Yeah.
bought the solar panel for it, and he thought it was like the size of a suitcase. The fucking thing was bigger than he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, those the ones for the ones that they show with the DJI 100, $299 a pop.
There you go. They went up in price.
Well, that was the original price, I remember. You must have
That
got a
was the
different
original
brand,
price?
didn't you?
I remember paying on $299.
Yeah, $299. Because that's why I didn't buy them right off the bat.
I thought
You
mine
remember-
were about 200.
You remember that little handheld solar power bank that was going around for a while? You guys
Yep.
remember that?
Yeah.
That thing, and when they were testing it, it would take like 2 full days out in the sunlight to charge that thing up.
Mm.
And it's like, why would you want to stick a battery bank for a cell phone or a laptop in direct sunlight to begin with?
Stevie.
It's like,
What's up,
pretty
Steve?
nuts.
Yeah. Well, I say my little Blue Eddy one, which is I think it's a 350.
There's Jason.
I got a solar panel for that one too, and that one, that one there, I will use that to keep the cell phones charged and stuff, because all you gotta do is set a cell phone on top of it, and it automatically starts charging if your cell phone is designed to do that wireless charging.
Yeah, $299.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like your battery bank, you could run a cable to it too. It doesn't need to be sitting.
Yeah. Yeah, I have all the cables to charge up the DJI batteries for the M3, M30T, my M3, and
$299.
I was hoping the price was gonna come down, Joe. I would like to buy, maybe another set, at least have 2, but $299, like, no, sorry.
Yeah, there's the one Jason bought. Put the link in the chat. The Anchor C1000. I don't think Jason's really used the solar panels his either. He took them out and set them up when he did the unboxing. But
Yeah.
I don't even think he's
Corey
used
Man
his.
said, you can find some on Amazon as cheap as $80, but it's like anything else. It's the technology in the panel itself. I know some that cannot do more than about so many watts that you can reproduce. And that's the difference between the cheaper panels and the more expensive panels, as they say.
Get what you pay for.
Well, the thing is too, I mean, if you're gonna invest in one system, I would much rather use all the items that are made for that system than the third party.
Yeah. And that's why I was excited about the DJI one when it came out. And that's why I was one of the I say early adapters that I say put my order in, even though it didn't show up until March of this year. I ordered mine in October of last year.
I'm the type, if you buy into an ecosystem, just might as well stay in it.
Yeah, if it supports it, yeah, I agree. Because the technology is made to work together. That's why people who like Macs, Apple, they live with it because everything works seamlessly together.
Yeah.
I
I might have to get it before August, just in case. Because August is always our bad month.
I know, I just like
Brenda,
Corsair stuff, Jason.
There are most of your solar panels themselves are just generic in brand, but there's the cabling you have to be careful about. There are certain cabling, certain panels use for them to bring that amount of electricity back into your power bank. But there are cabling systems on. I've seen them on Amazon and eBay that can work with no name or off brand name panels that will work with the DJI. But you got to have that, at least that DJI dongle from them to go out to a panel. So you just got to find the adapter piece.
And when I got the 1000, I bought the setup to put on the side for the cables to go in, I mean, for the panels to go in.
Right.
And they sent me 2 of them.
Well, okay. Yeah, that's why I said 6 is all you can do, because that little adapter piece only supports 6 panels.
Yeah.
You got to plug them all into that little adapter piece that goes on the side of the 1000.
Yeah, they sent me 2 of them. I gave one of them to Johnny. Yeah, because I figured if I get the panels, I'm not gonna get more than 3 anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I said, the most I may buy is 3, just for peace of mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably order them in the beginning of August, because the end of August through September is our big problems.
Yeah.
But like I said, I usually don't lose a lot of. I probably don't use enough. It doesn't go out long enough that thing would drain.
Mm.
That's what I'm thinking. And the only thing I'm gonna use it for, only thing I would have used it for is like a fan or something like that.
Right.
But I've got the Ryobi fan with 3 batteries that I can put on and blow air on me if I need to.
Right. And that's why I say, me, other than taking it out in the field, if I ever, start doing large projects like that again, I had a couple of them last year. And that's the reason why I bought it. That, yeah, I could be out in the field and keep batteries charged for, running the drones and stuff.
Yeah.
But I have 2 other small power banks that do a decent job of that and stuff. They can charge back up at least 2 or 3 batteries easy, depending on what drone it is. But the Power 1000 was definitely a dual purpose purchase, because we do have those rolling blackouts here in California during the summer. Demand is paces the resources, and you can go from there. And as my wife always reminds me, she don't sweat. And that's not because she don't sweat herself. She don't want to sweat.
Yeah.
So gotta be. That's why I wish that we had a outlet plug off of the inverters, so I could put the power bank attached to the solar panels on the roof.
Yeah, that would work.
That would really work. That's why I was interested in getting a power bank from Tesla to find out would they have a regular AC plug off the power bank, that can run something off the house.
So Corey, there you go. He said he's explaining what kind of solar panels they're using.
What, he's asking Dre?
And I can say, Corey, man, you could be 100% correct, partner. You could be 100% correct.
Well, I mean, we all know that companies they charge a little more when they slap their name on
it's part of their ecosystem, and we're paying for that DJI name brand.
Well, there was one on Amazon that had like 18 adapters that came with it, and one of them that DJI has. And it was like $89.
Yeah, it's because it's one of those industries that hasn't come up with one universal plug. Everybody's still using their own proprietary.
I know
chip.
right now there's usually 2 or 3 different type of plugs that people are out there that'll work with various power banks.
Well, it's like even when you have an electrical car, an all electric car, you have to have some cars you need to carry adapters with you, because there is still like 10 or something standard plugs out there that are all different.
There you go. Right here. And look at all the plugs that go back. All the plugs that come with it. That's $89. So it's like, and that one had the plug, went through and has the plug
The
that works
only
with
way
it.
you would know is how you'd have to literally test it against the ones you already
Yeah.
have.
But for $90, that ain't bad. You know?
Well, like I said, depends on what your testing shows,
Yep.
because they could be lying about what the panel could do too.
Yeah, shoot, I give you 3 of those for the price of one of the other ones. And I mean 300 watt. Come
I
in
don't
tomorrow.
know, look skeptical.
I don't know. It's just like I said, like PCs. Like if you have a bunch of different stuff that's not the same brand, then that's just more programs you have to have to control or update anything. So I said like 90% of my shit on my computer, all I can control with one program.
Well, that's the whole point of, you keep feeding those squirrels.
It's like Mike Nitrain. He's a funny example. Like his old computer had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 different devices on it between a water cooler, fans, and I want to say something else he had on there.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was controlled by a different program, the RGBs, because he had mixed brands in his computer.
Mm-hmm.
In order to control them, he had to have a program for each one. There are some programs out there that can combine different brands together in like one program to control it. But there was one that I was messing around with. I can't remember the name of it, but it was supposed to be compatible with like Razer and Corsair and different brands.
Now you have a Razer set up in yours, don't you?
No, I got all Corsair stuff. The only thing that's not Corsair is my microphone. It's a HyperX. But my headset, my mouse, my keyboard, all my internals on my computer, most of it's all Corsair. Even my mouse pad is.
Okay.
That's why Jason was saying I was a Corsair rep in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
£5 account gets grass and sakes. That's in them, absolutely. Broke again. At least I've paid everybody.
My expensive reader glasses.
Trump is talking live right now, but he's got I think a German prime minister or somebody.
Money,
and I'm trying to see if he says anything about the drones.
That's what I'm saying. No, I don't mean that. I mean the other. Yeah.
Nah, if it's a diplomat to me, he might say something, but I don't know if he'd be signing anything right now.
Well, he's talking about Elon's comments, so he talks about everything.
At least I get them up. Like what I said, it's just all going out.
What's he saying about Elon?
Just being careful.
He said it's the big beautiful bill is a big beautiful bill. He'd rather him criticize me than the bill.
Still nothing. Still I've got bills. Just paid 2 more bills.
Well, there was something in there he didn't like. But I mean, you're not going to agree 100% of the time anyway, so.
I want to get my covers back, but like I don't have to worry as much.
I guarantee them two are on perfectly still good speaking terms. It's just the media is blowing it out of proportion because he said one comment.
Next month, I'll be better
because I won't have.
And who's to say that comment wasn't taken out of complete context either? I haven't looked into it, but would
myself
not surprise me, you know.
a little bit more extra. Plus the 45, I think that's paid up now. John's last payments this. I think it
Well,
was.
now at least we know Mark's financial history now.
That's not mine, that's Kate.
That's my financial.
All the bills. Like,
Now I'm broke, so if you got any money, send it over to me, please.
Yeah, we're all broke after day bills come up.
Press, take PayPal, I take bank to bank, Western Union.
Western Union. Sending a money gram.
Yes, I need a 12-digit number.
Dude, I haven't used that. MoneyGrams, I haven't used one of those. And
Yeah, I don't like it. I've got
it's
PayPal.
like PayPal. Yeah, I use PayPal for everything. So much simpler.
No, it's just my bill. Bill after bill after bill, and now I'm broke again.
I can't remember the last time I sent or received a MoneyGram. Should that have been over about 10 years ago?
Everybody wants money these days.
I wish this weather would make its mind
I
up.
know. Oh, got to say a bit of that.
We've had torrential rain this morning, then it stops. We get 5 minutes of sunshine, then it rains again. Then it stops, then we get 5 more minutes of sunshine.
Yeah, it's been off and on cloudy today. Let's see whatever.
Blaming trashman didn't come and empty the paper bin either.
Might get a little rain today, not much. I know it's been cooler the last couple of days since the clouds have been out. Been down in the low 80s.
Oh, you poor things. I don't think we've got to 60 yet today.
Yeah, we don't get over 100 too often here in summertime, but it does always ride the fine line of the high 90s. Be like 98, 99 degrees. But like I said, I'd rather be in the heat out where Dre lives than the humid heat. This humid heat to me is way worse.
15 degrees centigrade.
Because I'll tell you what, I could handle 110 degrees with 2% humidity better than I can handle 100 degrees with like 70, 80% humidity.
What's that in Fahrenheit? Oh, 59 we're at.
Damn, everybody's muted but me and Mark. Joe's muted, Lance is muted, Dre's muted, Paul's muted.
Yeah, I'm listening to the
Trey and Lance are at work, aren't they?
Just put on closed caption and look for keyword drone. You'll know when he starts talking about it.
Was he watching the Trump thing?
Yeah, he's trying to see if he says anything about the drones. Because nothing was said yesterday. They didn't do any kind of press conferences yesterday. He had one little speech he made, I think, at the White House for about 45 minutes.
By the looks of it, Dre's not just muted, he's frozen.
No, that's just his picture.
All right.
That's when he's got his camera off.
Camera off. Mhm.
Have a good day, Jim. Yeah. Why's Jason ain't popped in as he's home? See if he's alive, doing a live stream of him fixing something.
Is he not working?
Yeah, he's working from home today. I'm surprised he's not live. Showing us how he sews the flight suits back together.
5 o'clock in the afternoon. 12 at yours.
Yeah, it'd be 12 o'clock his time.
9 a.m.
Oh, you talking about for Lance?
Yeah,
Right.
Lance. Yeah.
Yeah, me and Paul and
I think
Jason are on the same time.
Yeah.
Joe's an hour behind, and then they're 3 hours behind.
So do me a favor, tonight, since I'm an hour behind, let me know the lottery numbers. I'll split it with you.
I want our lottery numbers tomorrow. It's up to 209 million. The Euro Millions.
I couldn't even tell you what hours is. I don't even pay attention to it anymore.
I only ever play it when it hits close to 1 billion or over 1 billion.
You're like 20 million is not enough, right?
It ain't the first sewing live stream you've done, Jason. I mean, he's literally sat and read a coding book for what, an hour and a half last night?
Well, he managed to do 2 lines.
Well, he got. Well, I put that link in the chat. I was just joking with him. As coding for dummies, and he went and bought it. Oh, he spent 2 hours reading the book.
And send it to Rod to Mark.
Finished book 5 live. I know, right, JD? Out of all the things he's live streamed, sewing is where he draws the line.
Yeah.
Shit, he was even on live stream fixing his wife's purse. Remember that?
Yep. Making rice.
I know, JD, right? Hey, guys, I'm tying my shoes today. Stay with me.
Yeah. I'm a big boy
I mean,
now.
he even took us in the bathroom on the live stream. And we got to hear him pee and fart.
Can't remember that.
That was funny as shit. I thought he was going to take it down. He was like, "Nah, I had to leave it up."
Hey, Lance. So what do you think? The Hunter's flight or the Avada through the tugboat?
You still got Carey Fresh on?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah, I
the
want to see
tugboat with the Avada 2 and write a special song for it.
Yeah, me too, JD. I can't wait for the second season for that.
No. Go eat that food on the floor. Go eat it. No.
I've been watching The Last of Us too. It's pretty good.
The new series of Stranger Things coming out, isn't there?
Isn't there one more season coming out?
Hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised though if they did a spinoff. As successful as that show was.
Hmm.
That's the thing.
I haven't seen any of it yet.
That's the thing is like Netflix has had some bangers when it comes to TV shows. But as far as their movies are always just kind of
Yeah.
like they just greenlight every shitty script out there.
I think I'm gonna have to watch all of season 1 of Wednesday again. I've forgotten most of it before season 2 comes out.
I think I have that game, Jason, in my library on Steam, I think. They were giving out free, was it like a year ago or 6 months ago or something like that? Might still be free, I don't know.
My phone been charging 18%.
You know, I was watching Star Wars the other day. I'm looking at like their computers and shit they're using in the movies, and it looks like 1960s built shit, but with like high tech stuff built into it.
Netflix. Lay down.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Fallout show though. It was getting really good at the end there.
Yeah.
I was hoping they were going to continue the fuck, what movies show is that? They had what was it, the Need for Speed show? Was that on Paramount?
26.
And that was getting really good, and I don't think that they're doing another season of that.
226 pounds.
He's still on 40p.
Yeah, so what they're going to do.
What was it, Need for Speed?
I can't
think it was.
40p. No, it's only 40p, isn't it? I paid up, you know, I'm paid 40p.
I'm gonna jump because I gotta go to the post office and everything else today. Gotta go drop off that package.
Nope.
So
We're here, but I go.
I will see y'all sometime later.
I'll have to go there. That hurt.
John Lance. Ow, ow. Ow.
This is the way, Jason. I'll tell you when the Mandalorian first took off his helmet, I was not expecting the actor, what's his name that they chose for that role. He's in Andor too, I think.
I've not watched that one yet. You must watch that.
I think the same guy that played the Mandalorian, was it Pedro Pascal? I think he's also the one that plays in. So, oh, he's in The Last of Us. Sorry. I think he played in Andor too, though. He's a good actor, though. Yeah, he's in the Andor series too. Thought that was the same guy. Mhm.
I get pretty frustrated pretty easily.
No, I've been watching Andor, Jason. It's been pretty good.
I had to pay a few bills that were due today, and they don't have auto pay on all of my bills, which is crazy. You know, like my electric, my gas, and all that stuff.
Yeah, but it's just,
and my auto insurance, my home insurance.
yeah, but when you switched your bank card a few months ago, did you ever call and set all that back up?
No, probably not.
You have to call each one and have them set you up on auto pay. Because they don't just get your updated card information when you get a new card, they're going by your old card.
Yeah.
And once that's deactive, their system should pick that up from the bank at some point, and they shouldn't even use it anyway. Or even try to make a charge to it.
So anyway, so I got my auto payment done, my homeowner's payment done, my gas and my electric for a total of $1,187.
It's not bad for all the bills you just said you paid. I mean, at least you got all your most important ones paid up.
I got them out of the way.
Yeah, it's better to have your bills paid and be broke than be broke and be stressing how you're going to pay your bills. I mean, I'd rather be broke and have my bills paid than the other way around.
Well,
because then you're just stressing on stupid shit at that point. Might be like, oh, I can't go get a soda at the store or something dumb like that, you know?
do you only do auto pay using a card? Do you not have the direct debits that come straight out of the account rather than use the card?
Well, you can do both.
You can do either way, but
it depends on
because I'm on the phone right now, I didn't want to have to put in the long account number. Just put in the debit card number.
The debit card's longer than the account number over here.
Well, they just go by the last 4 digits of the card. When they're like, they go to ask you to pay, you're trying to do a quick payment. If it stores your card information, it'll give you the last 4 digits.
Yeah.
Or it will ask you to put the last 4 digits in.
Our bank accounts have a 6-digit sort code which identifies the bank, and then an 8-digit code that identifies your account number. And
yeah, that's just
card numbers have 16 numbers.
Yeah, the first number you're talking about, that's what we would just call a routing number. That's the number that routes to the specific bank
Yeah.
that you're with.
Oh, man.
But you can do that. It goes by company by company. Some companies do like straight from the accounts. But sometimes those take longer too. Like there's some companies that will take a couple days to run it. So you have to let the money sit in there for a day or two. And then that's why I usually pay by card because it's instant.
Our direct debits are set up so they come out on the same day every month.
Yeah, I just always pay with my card because it just instantly comes out. I don't do auto pay though. I don't like auto pay.
Yeah. I don't usually do auto pay by card number, just by direct debit.
I'm just saying, like, I go to pay can fuck you over sometimes, right? Because you could say, oh, I can go another week on that bill and pay it and it will be fine, no late fees, whatever, Skim an extra week and that might be your last $50 in your account. All of a sudden, the fucking company decides to take it out.
Yeah. Now the annoying thing about it is that on the auto pay on a card, they ask for it on the day that you set it for. Whereas with the debit, if that day is a Saturday or Sunday, it don't come out until a Monday. So if I get paid on a Saturday, I don't get my money until Monday. So if they try and take the money out on a Saturday, it's not there. But with the direct debit, they can't take the money out until the Monday either. Two minutes. Oh dear.
So did you already go to your appointment today, Mark? Well, I guess you did, yeah, because it's a lot later for you.
Yeah, 11:30. So that would have been what, about
5-6 hours ago?
Yeah. Yeah, they were quite happy with it.
That's good. The worst words a doctor could say to you is, you might want to sit down. That's, you never want to hear those words come out of your doctor's mouth.
I have to say anyway because they got to check my feet. So no, it's showing sign of starting to heal now. So that's good news. Because the angioplasties allow the blood now to flow into my feet and to my toes. The sore that I've got on my toe is now getting blood to it so it can start healing. It wasn't properly because the blood wasn't getting to it.
Jody said gold went down $28. That's not a big drop. I'm sure it will go right back up again.
What went down?
Gold, he said, went down $28. I was like, it's not that big of a drop. I mean, you're talking what, gold's at what, 3,000 an ounce or 2,000 an ounce? Something like that.
On what it's worth.
I think it's at 3,000 around there. Yeah, 33.73. So yeah, that's not a huge drop. If it went down like $500 or $600, I'd say yeah, there's something going on.
Yeah, it's less than 1%, so not that bad.
Yeah, like I said, if it was like, a quarter or a third of the price now and it went down that far, I'd be like, yeah, there's some kind of like shift in the market that's going on. But
one of the neighbours came up to me when we got back from the appointment today and said that a young couple had been up the avenue and they're taking photographs of the cats that are in the avenue for some reason.
I mean, it's gone up more, Jody, because it wasn't. Like I said, I couldn't remember if it was 2,000 or 3,000, but I remember last time I checked it, it was at just a little over. So it's gone up another couple $100 there, but they were estimating 4,000 by the end of the year. I wonder if we could ever even go back to the gold standard. That would take the price of gold up so much.
FedEx. Wheeler brake discs are coming tomorrow morning. 2 of them arrived today. The rear ones and the front ones are arriving tomorrow. That's all right.
What's up, Dusty? How's it going, man? Yeah, damn. So if everybody decided to go back to the gold standard, they said it would take the average price up to about 16,500 roughly per ounce. I thought it would be more than that, but I was thinking around 100 grand or some crazy crap like that. I'm about to leave off. Catch y'all later.
Okay, we can just shut her down, huh?
Yeah, might as well.
probably.
Okay. Bye, everybody. We'll see you later.